Hello everyone and welcome back to Smogon Gameday. This is Goldmason back for another, the first Smogon Tour stream that we've had on our channel. I'm joined by a fairy and very shortly I will be joined by FC. How's it going?
Hi, things are going well. I'm excited. This is the second week of store. We're going to have some Sword and Shield gaming. Obviously very early in the tournament, but we're going to see a lot of early leads for the large scale thing, as well as just, a wonderful live tour in and of itself today.
But yeah, no, Sky Penguin versus Alhen is our first match today. Sky Penguin probably needs no introduction, I don't think. Excited to see how this is going, and they are still selecting leads here. Looks like Alhen maybe has already chosen, and Sky Penguin is still thinking about it. I see the ubiquitous Toxapex on both teams, so I haven't seen...
For folks who are less familiar with Sword and Shield as a metagame, it is, given the nature of the Pokemon available and the lack of a generational gimmick due to Dynamax's ban, Sword and Shield tends to be seen as a much slower paced metagame than some other generations we've seen in Store and Modern and historically. Which isn't to say that all games are going to be these hard stall, bloody knuckles until turn 1000, but we, expect to see more Hippowdons, more Toxapexes. The Jirachis and the Clefables are going to be more defensive than offensive, so on and so forth.
Absolutely. And we're already seeing the Toxapexes fight it down. Gonna pull up the official Smogon Tour OP for this week.
We started the stream already?
We have.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome aboard, FC.
Hi. Can you guys hear me okay? My laptop is still loading, so I joined on my phone.
Yep, we can hear you just fine.
Okay, good.
We're currently watching Alhen versus Sky Penguin, which is, a match you maybe expect to see in later rounds of a tournament, but this is round one, the nature of the draw.
Yeah, that's a rough pull, I guess, for both of them to start off, but I don't know if Allen has made playoffs before, but I know obviously Skype has, I think, multiple times, so this is a good matchup regardless. And Skype, these are some weird teams.
It's actually interesting that we have yet to see Alhen switch out their Toxapex. It came in on turn one, and despite Sky Penguin consistently pivoting around, Alhen has stuck in, putting up T-Spikes, clicking Scald, burning half of Sky Penguin's team.
Yeah, I think his goal is just burn Skype's Toxapex first, and then see what happens. Yeah, because he switches out, and then goes right back to it. I think he wants to get the burn off, and then Aegislash might become a bit more threatening depending on the set. I assume it's like sub-toxic on this team, but it could be, some weird stuff, because Aegislash has a lot of options. But still no burn. And
yeah,
we're getting the regen game here.
Yeah. Still no burn is crazy.
Yeah. Hey, these kinds of games are interesting though. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I find these very long games fun. I find them fun to play and also somewhat fun to watch if there's actual interactions happening. And I think once the burn happens on Toxapex, more things will happen. I guess if the burn happens on Toxapex at this rate. Because he's down. He's down over half his Scalds, so he does have to be a little careful. And Skype is just not interested in taking any chances here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the sequence break.
It'll happen eventually.
It will happen eventually. I know.
Yeah.
I can wait. I'm a patient man. There it is.
Yeah. He's gonna go right back.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
He's not gonna let his Thorn get knocked so easily. Never mind. He wasn't trying to let his Thorn get knocked so easily, but yeah, I think. I don't know. Okay, I guess Alan will have the easier time breaking it because he has the clef. Unless it's unaware clef on the stall, in which case he doesn't want to come in on like Pex. But if it's Magic Guard, then he can obviously just pivot it in on Pex and no repercussions really. Okay, we see a U-turn. So that's momentum, which means Pex might not come in.
Yeah, the U-turn. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. We see Aegislash.
Okay, we do get Aegislash.
Now that we have this opportunity to see what Sky Penguin is doing.
Yeah, okay, so it is the sub-toxic set, probably. Which can't actually break the Pex right now because it's not burned and there are no rocks up. It'll do a fair bit to Torn here, though. That's a okay.
Big crit and drop.
Crit drop, so this has to run. But if you just, like... You can pivot around this, but it has a lot of moves. Shadow Ball has way too much PP.
Sky Penguin says in the chat, "Oh, is this that set?" And Alan says, "It is."
Yeah. So I assume they both just recognize that. Because Subtoxic, with a lot of residual damage, can do really well versus a fat team like Skype has. Especially because his Steel-type pivot with like the Wish support is a Jirachi, which probably takes like 70. I guess depends on spreads. Because it could be like max Fidef Jirachi versus minimal investment Aegislash.
Yeah, all of a sudden you look at Sky Penguin's team and you're trying to figure out what exactly is happily switching in on sub Aegislash, and it's like it's not that difficult to figure out which one does it once. Oh, well, that crit changes the math significantly.
Yeah,
but it's definitely difficult to figure out who can do it twice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He got a drop too. I low-key clicked Toxic here on the T-Tar coming in. I won. Oh, it's Flash Cannon. Interesting.
Which makes it even harder for Tyranitar to do anything.
Yeah, I guess it's sub 2 attack King Shield? Or it could be CC last, but that feels a little strange. I feel like it's a little too early to try and go for this, though, if you're Alan. I guess that is a good drop. But Max Fidef Lando can like fairly comfortably take this. And then Pex just gets to come right back in as soon as it wants to. Because like I think there's more things he can force to get chip damage going before wasting all his Shadow Balls. Because he's used 8 Shadow Balls already, which is a lot in this kind of matchup.
Am I miscalculating things, or did that Lando T take frighteningly little from Shadow Ball on that turn?
That just looks like standard Max Fidef Lando. And I assume
that's very good for Sky Penguin to be able to get around the Aegislash if that's the case.
Yeah, especially because if he gets like a U-turn off with the Torn or something, he can get like 6% residual on Lando pretty much every time for free, which it'll add up to keep it alive against the Aegislash. Like if you get a slow U-turn here, or I guess we don't know who's slower. But he could also just not do U-turn on this. He could be Defog Glass, but I assume you want to run U-turn to get in like G-Card. Yeah, this I can't see this going to 1,000 or to whenever the host stops it, but I can see this one being a long one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Sky Penguin successfully forces Aegislash out again this time. We're seeing, as I say that, I was saying we're seeing better luck for the Toxapex to be able to stay in longer, but the special defense drop is not going to help. It'll be interesting to see what Skype's approach is going to be, because this tornado is going to get to a KO, and obviously Regenerator will help as it switches out, but...
Yeah, but at this point, there are the same number of recovers and Shadow Balls here. So I can't actually see this Aegislash winning anymore, because he's just burned way too many. He does have other win cons though, because Suicune is always just sitting there. I don't know if Suicune will be able to do it versus Rillapex, but
yeah, especially when the Pex has
Aegislash for. Yeah. Well, you do have more PP than Pays with Calm Mind because of pressure, but it's still kind of tough. We do see something different is happening for the first time in 80 turns. Suicune in on Rillaboom, and it is sub, so. And it is a very slow Rillaboom versus a very fast Suicune. I guess this Rilla will start doing some damage here, though. Unless it is...
Unaware Clefable, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know if it is yet. We haven't seen the Clefable come in. But if it is, this will be difficult for the Rillaboom. But the Rillaboom right now wants to avoid... it already avoided one Skull Burn. Suicune could, in theory, stay in and yeah, okay. So they're just trying to stall out the grassy terrain turns.
Still no burn, and this is a pretty decent position for Skype now because, well, I assume it'll just be Protect and Swords Dance coming out.
Yeah, you have to protect here to end the grassy terrain, but then
and
the Rillaboom has the opportunity to boost further.
Yeah, you can get some stalling going of just Grassy Glide PP, but you can't run it out fully. Okay. He didn't bother protecting to scout that out, but also Alan switch to Torn, which I guess is safe. Like, if he knocks off again, you might be in a bit of trouble because that does a lot, and then you're more pressured, but we're back to this. Torn, Pex, they're having their fun. These spikes go up. They do not matter.
Yeah, the only impact that these spikes would have had was like, okay, well, you have to fit in a Toxic turn before Rilla or T-Tar can even come in, but Rilla and T-Tar are probably happier in the back than they are up front right now.
Yeah, and like poisoning Rilla barely does anything because it just out heals, and like you might prefer burn because then it does less to like Suicune if you have to take a hit. Because if the Rilla eventually gets chipped, then there's potential outs there. Yeah, I think as it's looking now, though, the limiting factor in this game will just be how many moves they have. Because this Pex is at 6 Scalds, and this Torn is at 6 Hurricanes. Which, if this is going for another 200 or so turns, say, that's not a lot, when these are the ones that are going to be in the most. Alright, we got 6% healing on Lando, and it is going to switch right out, probably, but that 6% is important for Aegislash, so if you can get it in safely, that's a very good play for Skype. Just slowly bring it back. Because I think he is favored currently in this game. And that's a really good burn for him as well. He got it fairly early. Threw out 6 heat waves.
It is interesting to see that, obviously a generation more akin to these long drawn out games. We've seen both Sky Penguin and Alan attempt to set up these potential win cons on more than one occasion, try and either advance the state of the game or even just outright close it out with a couple of good plays. And we've already seen the sort of responses with like, okay, your Aegislash, well, I have Toxapex. Your Rillaboom, well, I have Tornadoes, right? We've seen these attempts to shift the game from this sort of mid-ground switch fest to a more progressive end state. But each time that's happened, we've seen the response come out of like, okay, this is my answer to your win con, and the response in turn has been to put the win con away for another couple dozen turns or whatever.
Yeah, I think there would be more chances to force progress if these Scalds weren't missing so many burns. Because Alan's thrown out probably 10 in total versus the Toxapex and the Rillaboom, and none have burned.
Yeah, the Toxapex as Scald has definitely been, batting under average for what you would expect, right? Scald, traditionally sort of seen as like this, oh yeah, okay, it has a 30% burn chance, but that's closer to 100%. But this game, specifically Alan's Toxapex, has struggled to meet that briefing.
Yeah, we finally see the Clef come in, and it does not want to take a knockoff, so it gets right out of there. I was hoping we might be able to get some information on what kind of set it would be.
Probably next time, hopefully.
I don't think we'll. Yeah, I don't think we'll see the Clef yet. Like, it has a lot of things it could be, but I guess the only thing it's not gonna be is rocks, because there's a Hippowdon right there, which also hasn't come out, surprisingly enough. But I think the two sand setters are kind of sitting there in anticipation of each other. Just like one of them has to make a move first.
Yeah, I think if you're Alan, your Hippowdon looks harder to navigate around in the face of Pex and Lando and Rillaboom. Like, yes, this is a defensive Pokemon by nature, but there are a lot of threats on Sky Penguin's team that Hippowdon can check. It can't check all of them. And then, T-Tar, we've seen the Aegislash Flash Cannon. We know that the Suicune exists out there. There's a reason that these two have yet to come out quite.
Yeah, I think the main issue is that Hippo can take, I think, literally every hit that Skype has. But it doesn't want to. Because if the T-Tar is some offensive set, be it like a weird like Dragon Dance or Choice Band, Like it'll do a lot. He could also be, you know, the goated set choice specs Ice Beam. I'll call the Hippo. But yeah, it's like rocks would be great for either side, but none of them are bringing in a rocker. I'm actually thinking for the first time this game. They've just been clicking.
Do we think they will bring a rocker soon, or like? I guess Lando's here, but
Lando. Sorry, can you hover over Torn? Just what Skypes? Okay, yeah. So it does have defog, so you can probably assume it's rocks or just a fourth supporting move on. Oh yeah, it is rocks Lando, but they are gone.
Yeah, there's 24 defogs on Alan's Tornadus as well. So
yeah, like in theory, you can fully stall out defog if you're Skyped by just spam getting up rocks, but you can never freely get up rocks because all of Alan's Pokemon have knockoff. Which means then Lando will eventually die, which is not good for it. Lando kind of really needs his leftovers here. So I think the main thing is just they're both too scared to make progress, because if they lose something on one of their mons, it opens up a lot for the opponent. Mainly just the items on like Clef, Hippo, and then like Rilla Lando. Did he defog anything or no?
No, just defog. For the Hurricane, maybe? Alright, never mind.
No, he's not clicking that. I think he just wants to sit without wasting like the more valuable moves, I guess. But even then, I feel like defogs... I think the amount of defogs only matters to keep this game going until it gets force tied for taking too long. Which, in round 1, is pretty rare, because round 1s are normally really long, but I don't think this game is ending anytime soon. But I could be proven wrong. They do both have a way of making progress. Because like these aren't, I guess Alan's is, but you wouldn't necessarily call Skypes a stall team. Like it's all things considered, it's relatively powerful with Rillaboom T-Tar and then potential anything on Jirachi.
Yeah,
it's not the rocker.
You definitely don't look at these teams and assume that this is a 1,000 turn game, but the way that SS plays and the way that these teams are set up and the nature of the checks and the counters to each win con, you know, it encourages the regen core switch outs and such.
Yeah. It's just like they can, since they're both switching just back and forth, risks can be taken, but neither of them feel it worth right now. Like, they just have to... Because it's pretty much just whoever plays safer and has more moves at the end will be far ahead. When you say Hippo, it is not staying in. Because I do not think it wants to take, like, a potential knockoff last. Did it really stay in? That's crazy. I figured it would be way too scared. It just throws off a Toxic into nothing. So, I guess nothing super impactful happened? Yeah, and then it's just back out. So it lost, what, 9%? And did nothing? Which is kind of the name of this game.
Yeah, SS as a generation has a tendency to have these sort of long mid games, and then you know you'll spend 100, 200 turns in this sort of positioning game, and then once the end game does arrive, it takes another 10 turns before the game goes from this you know it's not quite a stalemate, but this mid game time to all of a sudden the game is ended in the blink of an eye. And
yeah,
unfortunately for this game, and unfortunately for these two players, both of them have tried to start that 10 turn timer, only to be thwarted by their opponent having a very sort of strong response to their win con attempt.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, this is still the early game. There's a lot more game to play. Like, there is...
Oh, man.
The saving grace is that there's a lot of room for hacks in games like these. Like, something could, like, I don't know, like, a hurricane could just crit confuse hit self-text when it's at, like, 50 and just drop it. But neither of them necessarily have to take that risk. But it's always on the table for games like these. I think really long term, you probably favor Skype, just because the Aegislash doesn't have enough moves to do it anymore.
Is there... Just correct me if I'm wrong, but is there not a reason to go to Lando on some of these safer turns and get rocks up? Because Defog only has 23 PP and rocks is 31?
It can't rocks up on Hex or Torn, because if it loses knockoff, you might just lose the game. Because Lando needs to, like, residually heal up. Because if it can't, and you play rocks up versus rocks up, the Lando will die. And that's kind of the main issue. Because, like, Hex Hippo can outlast Hex Lando with rocks up. Because both the Torns will be taking equal 25%.
Gotcha.
Like, theoretically, if he just predicts a switch because you think he's not going to waste knockoffs, then yeah, you can. But eventually you might get caught with just one stray knockoff because it has so much PP, and then it would be quite dangerous.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had a similar game to this in yesterday's S2. We went to 300 turns, and a lot of it was just regen back and forth until some things slowly get chipped or the important pieces get knocked off, and that's the main goal here. But I think Skype can technically force something. He just is taking his time as best as possible to, I guess, maximize his odds, which is optimal. It's just you are on a time constraint in S Tour.
Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me?
Hello.
All right, what are we getting into?
Turn 200.
Oh, turn 200, no mons down yet. Very typical.
I mean, this stream promised to show off the genuine sword and shield experience, and I think we're getting that.
Exactly. Do we know anything about, like, the Suicune, the Clef, the...
So Suicune's sub. Clef and Jirachi have not clicked move. Jirachi hasn't hit the field yet in 200 turns. Clef has hit maybe 3 times, and it hasn't clicked a move because it's been too scared to get knocked off. So we know pretty much nothing. We know the Pexes, we know the Thorns, and we know the ground types. And then Rilla's SD slow, and Suicune is sub fast. And that's kind of wow. He let Lando get toxic.
So big.
That is
okay. Toxic for toxic.
I'm very surprised he let Lando get toxic, and
I'm surprised they let the Hippo get toxic. There's been 200 turns. What are we doing here?
I think it's more okay for him to let the Hippo get toxic because there's a high chance this Clef is aromatherapy. And just has chosen not to reveal it because it could be unaware aromatherapy, which is a fairly common stall set. So that's like somewhat reasonable. But also just rocks up versus rocks up, if the Lando is poisoned, I think favors the Hippo because it takes less from rocks. So it can come in.
Well, now this is a kind of uncomfortable question for the T-Tar because it's like, yeah, your Hippo's poisoned. It's switching into Assurance that's banded, and now you're...
Let's go! Oh. I love Assurance. That's so funny.
And shoutouts to Sky Penguin in the chat. Good chip.
Chip. Yeah. Get some chip.
And then he does...
It is
okay.
Unaware.
It is unaware. Oops. Yeah, so it...
You see a knockoff though, so boots come off.
I assume it's gonna aroma, yeah.
It is aromatherapy, but it's a little too late, too when your Hippo is at 8%, 6%.
Yeah.
What percentage is that Hippo at? Like 8, right?
It was at 10, it'll come in at, what, 4?
Yeah.
4? Okay. And then lefties back to 10. But yeah, your Hippo's at 4%, so it's like that guy's not doing anything versus anybody anymore.
Yeah, I think
Hachi's in.
that.
Notably, no lefties on this bad boy. That's interesting.
I'm low key expecting it to click Cosmic Power.
I expect a trick right now.
Like, I think Skype uses a lot of kind of crazy sets like that. Like, I know in SM,
If it
I have
is,
some teams from him with
if it's
secret
like
power.
Cosmic Power, Weakness Policy, like
That's what I was thinking. There's no
Sword
item.
Power,
It could be weakness.
or the game is over if it's that set. Like, you can't do nothing versus that.
You can crit with Shadow Ball.
That's so true. Yeah, you could crit with Shadow Ball.
This also could technically be Calm Mind. Like Calm Mind, Soft Boiled Aroma, Moonblast, in which case it'll break it. Because I don't know if Sword Power can do enough.
Aegislash, Cosmic Power? No, it's
It is
just
Wish.
Wish. So it is the Cosmic Power set, probably.
It could still be Cosmic Power, just no Protect, but
Show me
We'll see what
Cosmic Power
happens.
right now. Or it could be the legendary mono stored power Jirachi, which I have seen before. And, I don't personally subscribe to the belief that you can just fish for no dark types, but, some people do.
yeah. I mean, there's a limited number of dark types in this tier, so
Okay, Rill comes in, takes a juicy 52, but that really doesn't mean a lot when you have terrain and lefties and all that getting back.
yeah. And then this Aegislash either has to switch or King Shield, and then Rilla's getting back to almost 100.
This has seemed to be like a lot of action in the past 10 turns. I'm kind of surprised this game has gone to 208 turns. With
Yeah,
so
but
little happening. It
before
really
you
feels
join-
180 of them were regen switches.
Yeah. Before you joined, they
I see.
refused to make any of these interactions. Like, it was literally just Hex Storm going back and forth on each other, wasting PP. And then as soon as the ground types interacted and traded Toxics, it became a wildly different game.
Okay, Fog comes out. Cool. I mean, Torrent has his free U-turn probably, or just Lando. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neither of
Roxy
them will
probably.
risk Hurricane or anything.
If you're a baller, you click Toxic here. But okay, no, he's better than me. He's better than me.
Yeah.
He's not a baller. He's not a baller.
Yeah. No, I think the Pex was always staying in there, because if you can eventually kill this Lando, you have some semblance of an out. But
Cool.
Yeah.
U-turn into Rachi on the Scald. On the T-Spike,
yeah,
Okay.
the T-Spike does absolutely nothing this game.
it is Cosmic Power.
Hold
That is
up.
funny.
I expect to see a...
No, I think it's too low to take a Shadow Ball and be able to wish still. And I don't know if +2 sword power kills. It
Are
might be
you
like,
sure? Bro,
might
Aegislash
be-
has no defense in Blade form, and that's like a base...
yeah,
what is it, 40
it's
times
also
5, it's
un-
200,
uninvest-
220
un-
move, off +2 special attack, like...
maybe. It
yeah,
is
that definitely
probably
kills.
uninvested though, and then it also has to play the King Shield 50-50. Because if it King Shields on Stored Power, then it definitely doesn't kill.
Because then you can, like, wish, right? If it King
Well,
Shield,
yeah,
then you
that's-
can wish, and then you can
that's the
Stored Power on the
50-50.
turn after.
It won't.
No,
eat
it's not a
two Shadow
50-50,
Balls.
though. Like,
It
if
won't eat
he...
two Shadow Balls. That's where it's coming from. Like, if you double Cosmic Power, take a Shadow Ball,
No, but
you
he
won't take a
can't
second one.
eat... He can't click Shadow Ball twice, ever. Because you're in Blade form. So you always have to King Shield.
Well, if you just
Again,
ca-
I'm just assuming...
if you hard call out the wish, you can, but it's obviously safest for him to King Shield. It's like you will lose if he gets the wish off.
But then you get the wish
scary
up. You get the wait. We're gonna see this right now. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna see Cosmic Power here, right? Or he just wishes. Okay, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, he's
I
just
don't know
playing
if
it
this
safe.
works this way.
I think Skype should always have this one at this point, unless some big hacks or a misplay. Like, I feel like that was kind of what was expected from the start. It was like T-Tar. I said this like 200 turns ago. T-Tar very, very long term will win, but if Aegislash or Suicune gets going first, there's something. But T-Tar
I'm
is such a
somewhat
massive
surprised
threat.
Also, neither of these Pexes have been burnt yet. They're like just trading Scalds or something. I guess the
Oh,
Torn
yeah.
is burnt, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, Alan has missed like 10 Scald burns already across the
That's
Pex
crazy.
and the Rillaboom. He threw out so many.
That's so
So he's-
crazy.
Hex is down to like 3 scalds at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, It is so low. He has just missed out on a lot of burns. I don't think they'd be too impactful, but it is something of note.
How much PP is this Aegislash at? Like sub and King Shield PP, mostly.
A lot of King Shield, a lot of sub, very low Shadow Ball.
Okay.
It used a lot of Shadow Ball in an early sequence, which ended up making net 0 progress because it was only hitting the regen mons. Which, that's kind of how the early game is expected to go. Like, the regen guys will literally just sit for their entire lives. But rocks are up on Alan's side, and the clef is knocked, which means a big assurance could be coming out. And I think as soon as one mon dies, the game is effectively over. Yeah, we're back to just safe positioning.
Burn
Burn the Rachi?
No,
Still
burn
no
on the
burn.
Rachi. Oh my lord.
Yeah,
He's
this
very, very unlucky with his skulls this game.
That's
Because,
what, like, two
this
spells?
Toxapex is clearly sheer force.
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Who Merciless? Who? Sheer Force. Regenerator? Who? Sheer Force.
Yeah. Because if you burn the Rachi, then you are slightly less scared of Cosmic
He
Power,
keeps
because then Aegislash does
Going to
more.
Rachi.
But,
Okay, okay. Thorn
yeah.
comes in. You see the fog on what? Cosmic Power or Wish? Wish.
Wish.
Cosmic Power here.
Probably.
Okay, well this is like perfect, right? Because now you have Rachi back at 100, and Aegislash can come in, but it's like okay, you have to
Yeah,
deal with the 100% +2 Rachi now.
Yeah,
If
Aegislash
you
is
decide to go for the +2.
I think Loki he might switch and just bait another Shadow Ball. Because Shadow Ball is a very limited commodity here.
How much PP do you have?
Aegis
Well, the
plus Shadow Ball is like 6 at this point, I believe.
6 PP. Yeah, that's Rachi stayed in.
Just step up. Oh, it went for Wish. Okay. Maybe he calcs it and he lives if he
Cosmic
does
Power
Wish
again.
into
Cosmic
Cosmic
Power
again.
again. Oh my, it's
Yeah.
over, bro. He said, "I'm here to
the end of the
game."
game.
Yeah.
He
I
said,
believe
"It is
this
time.
has
It is
ended.
winning time." Okay, Alan, you got one out here, buddy. You got to hit that move. You have to hit that juicy 6%. Okay,
Yeah,
or just
but
substitute. I guess that's fine. You could sub King Shield forever. Stall out Sword's powers.
yeah, I mean theoretically he could run him out of moves with subtech on this into subtech on Suicune. But then what? You have no moves on those guys, and the T-Tar will do big damage eventually.
Oh, it's Flash Cannon. That's kind of cool.
Is it? I thought it would be Body Press. Oh, the Aegislash, yes. That did
Okay, well,
1%.
there's the weakness policy.
Weakness policy.
Yeah. Start power.
There's the stored power. Crit? No crit.
No crit, no drop. Back to full.
This is
Shadow Ball
probably
again
it.
here.
Cosmic
You're
power.
clicking Cosmic Power.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think he has enough sword powers to just spam them.
Probably. 15? Yeah, that's like 8 in front of Suicune if you're slower than Suicune, which maybe you are.
It will probably not have enough to break Suicune with just
Oh, that was
sword power.
See, fabulous Shadow Ball.
Yeah.
Not rewarded. Oh.
Yeah. Extra crit chance, but no luck there.
Rewarded
Another
though?
Still not
Tough.
rewarded. He's
Put
getting the
Cosmic
play.
Power again here though. Cosmic Power is so low. Yeah. Crit though? Rewarded though? Not rewarded.
Sky says my bad for not getting hacked, which I
Oh
find
my
funny.
lord.
Because he realizes that he did get
Yeah.
outplayed there 3 turns in a row, but nothing happened.
Okay,
and then now
it is
this,
faster. So that if it's Vinkun, it will stall this Rachi out of all its attacks, I think.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, it's
Oh,
Drain
sure.
Punch? Are you kidding me, bro? There's no way.
That's so funny.
yeah,
The mono dark tech.
yeah. Usually it is fighting move last. I did not. I don't
Oh,
remember
the crit
if it
just
gets
had
body
insult
press,
to
but
injury.
yeah, this is where burning
that
this
was-
would have come in handy because the drain punch would not even come close to breaking sub. Like you would probably need
Drain
like 4.
punch.
Yeah, you would probably need like 3 Drain Punches if you don't proc the weakness policy right now to break sub. And then Suicune could have answered this a lot earlier.
Okay, Suicune, this is what I need you to do. I need you to pull an Ice Beam out of your butt. I need you to freeze this, right? And I need this to stay frozen for the... Yep. That's the win con. Actually, has it revealed...
Seems like a shaky win con there.
Yeah.
Can I even pray for Ice Beam?
I think the Suicune will die here, but it might take most of Rachi's moves, but at that point this team is so far behind, there is essentially no chance of winning. Because I think T-Tar
that's not a guaranteed break. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay,
Wow.
okay.
That's actually really surprising.
Well. Alright, Rachi got
4 Drain Punches, 10 Stored Powers left.
6 attacks left. Rachi got 6 attacks left. Oh, Sky Penguin. Oh no. Suicune is about to do the thing. It's about to stall out the Rachi.
Yeah, I still don't know if it
Valen's an
does.
animal.
Wait, the Drain
Valen's
Punch
an animal
didn't.
who scalds here.
The Drain Punch didn't break the sub.
It must
It
have been
didn't.
a roll this
Valheim
entire
is not an
time.
animal. Okay.
It was probably like 24% min. So it broke
Yeah,
most of the time.
24.8
Oh,
or
we got the
something.
double tech. Oh, that's so big. Oh my word.
Yeah. I was about to say that this Suicune probably still can't stall it out of everything, but now I think it can. But again,
you got,
yeah, for sure.
You got 6 moves left.
Yeah, it's gonna be at like 12% with no moves versus Skype's whole team at full. Like, I think at this point,
Did the
both
Bex
of them
reveal
and Tita just
Haze?
clean up.
Yeah, the Pex has Haze.
Skype's has Haze,
Allen
Allen's does not.
has... Yeah.
It's
Oh my
not
lord.
called C-Spikes.
Wait. That is, oh my god, he did it.
Yeah.
You need the Cosmic Power right now. Cosmic Power, like, right now. And you can get some more
Nope.
KO.
No. Well,
Oh,
it comes
man.
to... If he gets
Double
the
protect.
double, the Suicune stays alive. If he doesn't get the double, I mean, he still ran it out of moves.
Yeah, this is why you run Rachi faster than... I actually don't know what Rachi is EV'd for.
He said it was quirky nature, so it has EVs in probably all 6 stats.
That's somewhat interesting.
Yeah, it needs, I think, for some Drain Punch rolls, some attack, and then it needs obviously some speed, and then you just want to bulk it out and get some Sword Power rolls.
It's
Which, like-
so funny to be talking about the Drain Punch rolls after that substitute fail.
Yeah, I assume you need it for like T-Tar or Ferrothorn type stuff, but
Sky Penguin also called out Ewin in the chat, so Ewin, gotta work on those Drain Punch rolls. It's crazy. That one turn where Drain Punch didn't break ended up being like 8 PP worth of moves. Because it's like that initial Drain Punch, the Protect, they roll the double Protect, and then you still have to attack once more to break the sub. It's like 8 PP worth of moves and just one Drain Punch not breaking.
It's
Yeah.
worth mentioning for chat that right now the delay in the turn processing is Allen currently thinking on what they should do. Sky Penguin has already locked in whatever their check was.
yeah.
There's still
don't know
there's still a
if I-
sword power back left now.
I don't know if I agree with that. Yeah, because that doesn't burn 2 with pressure. I don't know if I assume this Clef dies, even though it's unaware. Like, this is like a trillion
Good.
base power.
1000 base power move right now.
Yeah. I mean, surely after
could-
Sand Chip, too, this will drop it. He is not clicking it. I don't know why.
I mean, I'm gonna go calc how much
There
this
it
is.
It's
It-
1000 base
Goodbye.
It did 100. I will tell you that much.
I think you're maybe scared about a protect on the wish turn, and then after that you want to
Cool,
make sure
mate.
the wish
That
doesn't
comes
go
from
anywhere.
Master Power, which is like,
I guess maybe he was scouting for
What?
Wish Tech
now you don't even get the KO. Why wouldn't you just?
Peter burn? Still no burn. He has missed every burn he's thrown out, aside from on the Torn.
Yeah, Alhen's ability, as it turns out, is sheer force, not the Toxifex's.
What round, by the way, is it for
Round.
This is round one.
This
We
is-
started
this
the
is a round
stream with
one
this game.
I feel so bad. Before the stream went live, I was like listing off different games that I thought were maybe notable, and I was like, "Yeah, we could do Sky Penguin versus Allen. Like Sky Penguin's one of the best." And round 2 has
These bad
already
boys.
started, and here we still are in the mines.
Okay, has
I haven't-
round 2 start? Actually, has
Yes.
round 2 surely has started at this
It
point.
has.
Has round
It has.
3 started at this point?
No.
They will end this game if they have to start round 3, because you can't have 2 extensions worth for round 3.
Oh my god, the winner of this game plays Helm too. What the hell?
That's all that. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
well,
I think at this point,
Fine.
Skype should just have this entirely locked up.
Is Toxic on the Torn too? Toxic on the Torn? No, just you turn. Fine.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, he
Those
did the
are
defogging for him, so now T-Tar comes out, and I hope it has crunch,
And we
because that'll
get
speed
rock
things up.
move. Just rock move, end his suffering. Very good.
There
Thank
it
you.
is. It's Stone Edge. It has to hit still,
Oh,
but
Oh my
Oh, why
god,
did you say that? It was hitting before you said that. No.
that's
Yeah.
so funny.
that's why I said I hope he has crunch.
Oh
because
my
it'll
God.
Oh my
actually hit.
goodness.
Apex speed?
This is a
Alright.
well-trained teacher.
one more Stone Edge.
Go hard,
No,
Suicune,
stop
and
talking about it.
dodge.
You already know what's missing.
Hard
now.
Suicune
You
and
already know.
dodge, yeah.
To
Okay,
burn
never
more
mind.
PP.
Wow.
Okay.
Wait, the Suicune's back
Okay,
in,
it's,
and
it's time for Suicune versus the world.
I think it's just too low. Like,
I think
because
it
Rilla,
actually has too little protect PP. How much
How many
protect
does it
PP
have?
does it have? It only has
4.
4. Yeah, there's not enough protect.
yeah, like if it had burned Rilla 200 turns ago, maybe it could come in and then get grassy terrain and heal back to full. But okay,
Okay,
yeah, now it
call.
should be over because he just gets knocked.
no,
Yeah,
pardon me.
Back down to 3 on the defog. Not even. Okay, gotta
Yeah,
preserving
he's
the.
he's taking his time.
Oh, okay.
no, I mean,
You
It's
just click
understandable.
toxic,
You can
right?
just-
Toxic.
yeah,
Just
you
Click
just click
toxic,
just spam
toxic,
toxic.
toxic forever.
10 times in a row.
Yeah, Skype, you were quite lucky, but you know, it is what it is. Mons is Mons.
It can't even miss anymore, right?
No, not on Pex, so that's GG. Alright, round 1 is done.
Holy moly.
Hey,
I'm
jump chat.
a little surprised Alan played that out. As long as he did, I'm not gonna lie. But I do respect
I
it.
respect it. I respect
Let's
it.
let's
I
grab a
respect it.
game. Let's grab a game.
Let's watch
Uh,
someone else.
Alright,
Let's watch
so
someone else's game.
let's pull up Laurel versus Guy. This game will not go 800 turns, and it just started.
Yeah, there's only one Toxapex. There's only one Torn. Someone losing or winning very quickly.
Here we go.
Wow, T-Wave Pult is not... T-Wave,
Wave double
this is-
status. Okay.
this is the SV set. This is not common in SS at all.
Sash Dragon
Slash
Bolt is
Dragon Bolt,
fascinating.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
This also
Yeah,
is
but-
probably what, like Specs Lele, AV Lele? Could be one or the other.
I'd have to guess Specs. Just
I
for
would probably
breaking
guess, but
power.
I could see AV. I'm not gonna lie. On this team, I probably
Yeah.
could. But Specs
Yeah,
probably
it could be as well, but I feel like the Garchomp might be Spadef just because of how he switched it in
we
so
with the swords
confidently.
dance.
The
Are
Rocky
we getting all
helmet,
these
though.
hits? Are we getting all the hits? Of course
Yeah.
we are.
Is that Life Orb? No,
No,
that
it's
is just a... Corv is just bad. Okay.
Just big hitter. It could be never melt ice. It could be that. Or it's a Spidef Corp, which makes sense, considering if it's not AV Lele, this team is very, very frail from Laurel.
Yeah.
Like Specs
think
Bolt would
that-
come in and click Shadow Ball like 5 times and kill everything.
Yeah.
So
Well, Garchomp can take them relatively well, and there's the Scarf Cart, but yeah, I think Corv typically runs mixed death Impish for
Those
a
evil
Lele roll.
impacts. That's neat. Then we have Torn out.
Yeah. On this kind of team, that's a little strange because it's not even Specs Bolt, it's Sash, so there's not like a big breaker to come in, but usually you pair it with like a
Probably the
Specs Lele.
Weavile. Probably the Weavile.
I guess, but it's not banded.
Or the Tran, actually. Wait, what do you think the Tran is? Because it's not the,
If it's not the rocker, it could
Is it
be
going to be like a Magnet
Taunt.
Storm Trapper?
it could be Taunt Tox, or it could be Balloon Eruption.
I was thinking Scarf. Like, you don't have a lot of speed control on this team, so it's like, yeah, well, maybe it's Scarf Tran.
Scarf is almost never used, I think, just because it can't break Pex. But I mean, it's not entirely out of the cards because it's a decent surprise factor, especially if it's like your first time bringing it in S Tour. Because people can't really prep in S Tour. So if you just queue up like some random choice mon and something just dies turn 1, like your run might end
It's a
there.
huge advantage, yeah.
Chomp out, and it is flying move torn. It's bit F chomp, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was so confident coming in on the Pult, but then the Pult proceeded to click the weirdest moves ever.
Listen, sometimes you have a base 142 speed Pokemon with a bunker special attack, and you make it a focus sash status Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, like it's good in SV. Like I see it all the time there, but I don't think I've ever seen it a single time in SS just because just click Spec Shadow Ball. It's like around as strong as status Hex. Like maybe on a more offensive build, but this has Hex torn Heatran. I'm sure there's some reasoning for it though. It's just strange to see.
Okay, well, I imagine this chomp is like, what, Toxicking here?
Yeah, it's probably just Toxic Protect.
And the
Earthquake.
question is for Gay, it's like, okay, do I try to prevent that somehow? Or do I just eat the Toxic with Torn? Because your boots, I mean, you kind of, like, this is also your probably primary answer to Kartana, and it's like,
I think you just eat the Toxic and knock this off, because Kartana can't lock a move that beats both Heatran and Pex.
True.
And it revealed, presumably, Scarf, because it came in hard on Weavile.
Fog in front of the...
I find Defog is very strange there.
Yeah, I mean, if you eat the Toxic, that's horrible. Chomp is the rocker. You've seen lefties already. You're not doing anything with Hurricane.
Yeah, Stone Edge is unique, I guess, but they're right back up.
Okay, I assume this is clicking a scale shot since he went through all this trouble to bring the Chomp in. But there's a Lele there. Just stop that.
Yeah, I assume it's gonna be like SD and hard Lele here, because if you just go Lele, then it's a sack, and then Weavile comes in right after.
Cart does the same thing. Yeah, a little more aggressive.
Does Garchomp outspeed here though?
No. It's a little bit slower because Cart doesn't run Adamant. It needs it for stuff like this. But I don't know if Leaf Blade kills, and it could be Fire Fang.
-1 defense on Chomp. I guess Leaf Blade could like not kill. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, like Fire Fang isn't very common. Usually, if it's the last move, it's Aqua Tail, but hey, it could be. Like the Cart, just to win the game here. Nope, it's
not
out.
even playing with all that.
Yeah, interesting knockoff. I guess trying to catch a switch out, but also Pex is kind of free into Cart when it's that healthy.
Do we know what the Kartana's item is yet?
It should be Scarf. It came in on a +2
Okay.
Weavile.
Oh, right, yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Like, obviously, that could have been the greatest
this is
bluff of all
also some-
time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was this some like god tier protective pads bluff or something?
Yeah.
It was great in Chomp. Great
The Chomp is back at full. And it is, now that it's Stone Edge, it is a massive threat here. Because the Torn can't just sit and knock off and just wait while it Toxics.
Okay.
Good Garchomp, though.
That turn basically did nothing, but it was fun. It was cute. Chomp gonna Earthquake here?
Yes, but notably, that Chomp is not leftovers.
Yes.
So,
What could
I
it
don't know
be?
what it is.
Sunberry? Haban? Resist Berry?
Yachi?
Biachi?
Adrenaline Orb? That was
That would
funny.
be funny. That would be very funny.
I haven't seen it on Chomp.
Can we just
I've seen it
Earthquake
on
hard
Lando.
here? No, just Scale Shot again. Alright. I'm kind of... Like, I understand wanting to hit the Chomp, but it's like the Chomp is also never staying in, and Earthquake is, like, kind of free. Like, if this card switched in on an Earthquake, it would be, bad news bears for the card.
To be fair, I think Skill Shot seems pretty like a safe neutral, and the more Kartana takes, the safer it will be later for Weavile to just sweep, right? Because like once Scarf Kartana is within like a shard range or whatever, what is Laurel doing about a +2 Weavile?
Well, okay, there is side terrain, so you could like turn that off. But yeah, no, so true.
Yeah, I think what's the Lele
Oh, big
at
knockoff,
here?
big knockoff.
Oh, it's
On the
Sword Stance.
SD?
Yeah, Lele's paralyzed, so I feel like it's just a sack in this game for
Oh,
when you
excuse me.
need.
Is it like a sped F sword stand chomp? Or it's just
It's
maybe
I
Torn is
don't-
just that weak. Maybe
I
I'm
don't
just
know
like
I don't know what set this is. Torn is weak. Hurricane is really strong. That's the difference.
if it's 30%, like I have to imagine that's invested. Or chomp or
Yeah.
like the chomp is invested in sped F. Like yeah, like look how little that does. Okay, well, you're
Wow.
also Laurel, you are overcooking right now.
Hurricane. Again,
Oh my
double dodge.
goodness.
No
Confused?
confusions. Oh.
It's so
Oh my
wow.
Sorry, I'm sorry,
goodness.
Laurel. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Spoke that into existence.
Hey,
That was
to
crazy.
be fair, the Hurricane missed through a defog debuff. So
But that's so true.
I didn't even realize that till now, but that is like a 95% to hit or whatever.
Laurel also, I mean, you just like Earthquake twice for like
Yeah, I guess it was to
Confusing
stop
reasons.
Chomp, but like
free
I don't
U-turn, Weavile in, free knockoff. Or Chomp in, free Earthquake. And that is what we see is Chomp and Earthquake. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and there goes.
wow, is that
Yeah.
supposed to kill? Is that Earthplate?
No, I feel
So
like
what?
it does. Lele isn't that physically bulky, and Chomp hits like a truck.
I guess.
Unless it's
No,
like max
we're
HP
gonna see if
Lele,
this
which
Weavile
I
has
mean,
anything for Heatran.
could be. The 74 to 87.
It's a roll. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Like Magma Storm. Cool card comes out. Probably just Pex again. Or Torn. Honestly, you could throw Torn out right now. And that is what we see. On the Leaf Blade, cool. Nice flying resist. Nice. Actually, you could just U-turn into Heatran. There's no reason not to. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I guess that extra Leaf Blade might put it in a range of like 2 crits or something next time, but then the Heatran's still at full.
Yeah, the problem is that Lay World doesn't have a whole lot of maneuverability left.
Earth Power? No, just back to Torn. Cool.
Yeah. I guess the Heatran isn't leftovers, so it like could get shipped somehow, but
Was the Heatran actually Scarf? Yeah, the
Did it
Heatran
get-
might actually be Scarf.
did it get knocked or does it just not have leftovers? I wasn't watching super closely for a second there.
Oh, I have no clue. You scroll over the Heatran?
What do you want me to scroll on? Sorry.
On Gaze
Heatran?
side.
Okay.
Heatran.
Okay, no, it got
Yeah,
knocked, got knocked.
it was knocked, okay.
Can the
Okay.
Weavile bring
I
it
mean, here's
back
the
for?
thing. This Weavile, if it's low kick, it could just win the game. Like, it could.
If it's
If it's low
Yeah,
kick right now, it just wins.
yeah, I mean it technically could be, but you have to drop Ice Shard, which is like it's been done, so or you just crit the
Well, I
knockoff.
think you would.
No, okay.
Okay,
It is
no.
it is not low kick. But this Bolt, I
I mean,
think
that's
This
pretty big
ball could
miss.
be anything.
I think this can just Draco low key. Because like that's enough chip for Weavile at +2.
Yeah. Out of all is
Yeah.
cool too.
I was just concerned about the opposing Weavile getting in. Oh, it is way weaker than I thought it would be. You can't hard it in there.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
See, but like,
Well-
I don't think that mattered because it was way too low. It would have just died to the next one, and it can't kill with Ice Shard.
Yeah, that's true. It
I
could be
feel
like
like
super
that is-
banded double crit. You know, it could be like a Gen 4 crit. You just hack it into Gen 8 and be like, okay, let's go. This is tough now because it's like you need something to throw in a scale shot.
I mean, you can just let the
Also-
Kartana go now that the Weavile's gone.
Considering Laurel's team has Lele on it, what do you think the odds are that Laurel's Weavile does not have Ice Shard?
I think it would have low kicked the Heatran if it had it.
If it
Because
didn't have it, you mean? Because if it would be...
Oh yeah, if it didn't have Ice Shard, it would have probably low-kicked the Heatran. Because I can't see
Yeah.
any other move you'd run unless you go some crazy set like Triple Axle plus Icicle Crash to not miss as much. But I think it kind of has to be... Hard dies to the
Does
forehead.
Gabe risk it
but-
here? No, just Gabe. Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, it didn't?
Cold double.
That was a good
No,
double,
this
but
isn't even helpful though. It's like you can just go Torrent, right? And then U-turn. If
You
you stack Torrent, congrats.
you
Startup
sack
comes in and
Torn,
clicks like scale
Chomp
shot.
comes in. What's the Weavile at?
The Weavile's
Does
at
Weavile
83.
live? That lives a scale shot, I think, without like 5 hit.
So switched out. Alright.
Yeah, it lives a 3 scale. It does die to a 4 scale though. So you might have to go for that.
And maybe you just Earthquake Raw. You'd be like, I don't want to play with this scale shot nonsense. You're not staying in with Dragon Bolt anyway. Let me just Earthquake.
The issue is if it is stay in though, you lose the game. Because your Shadow Ball will clean up. I feel like Scale Shot is coming
That's
out, and you kind of have to. You gotta just test the waters with Weavile.
Well, actually, if it's like...
It's lost. It's lost otherwise, so you have to go to Weavile. No? Oh wow.
Just
Okay, well.
no.
Okay.
yeah.
Failed.
See, I didn't want to say
Failed.
it because you guys blamed me for the Stone Edge miss in game 1, but that could always happen. That could always happen.
So you were
Oh my
thinking it, so this is still your fault.
Ah, my bad.
Exactly.
It's always on the table.
It's always yeah,
Oh my
that is
God.
true.
That is quite unfortunate, though. But like, you had to hit a scale and then a Magma Storm, which is like the odds are still heavily favored, but it's like 2 slightly inaccurate moves.
Honestly, wait, this is so true. If this Pult had gotten hit by that Magma Storm before, then you didn't even have to risk the scale shot. You could have just EQ'd and that would have been it.
Yeah, this was quite an unlucky game.
Okay, they're having like a competition in chat about who got lucked more, and it's like, okay, boys, here's the thing. It's Mons, both of you got lucked. Congrats. Moving on. Let's keep
Yeah.
it moving.
Unfortunate.
Mason, I don't know if you had a game in
I
mind,
don't.
but
I don't.
I
It's
took a look at the Dasmo 3 versus Ombrarch, and this does not look like a particularly long game that just got started.
Asmer versus Ombrarch. Where the heck?
You can probably like just
It started a little bit
battle,
ago, but
and
it's
then-
only on turn 8. They spent a lot of time on team preview.
As round 3,
Russia's
round 3
playing
has
his
been
son
round.
team.
this game?
This is very funny.
Stresh. I can't find the
Yeah,
game that
we
you're
can
talking
do that.
about.
Go to the Watch a Battle, because if it's still running, it should be on that list of games. It
Oh wait, I can
probably is
just
a little
search
easier
up
than-
Ombrarch. Right?
Yeah. I'm looking at the round. If it started, Damien versus M Forbes is a good matchup.
Ombrarch Dasmer. Cool.
What was the one you were saying?
Damien versus M Forbes is a round 3 match if it started.
Does not
I haven't seen that pop up in chat yet.
does not
Yeah.
look like it. All right.
This is a fun matchup as well.
Let's check
do
out the
the-
Dasmer game.
Let's do
let's
the
do our strong
Dasmer game.
players.
Here we go.
I've seen Dasmer's team before. Quite funny.
But yeah, it's Estor. I'm not gonna choose matchups. I'm just gonna go into the chat.
Look at that.
If you want to pick
Yeah.
them, you definitely can.
U-turn.
Yeah, because
Chomp.
as soon as that previous game was
Leyline.
coming to an end, I was glancing at other games that were starting up. There was one that was like Evito the New versus We Three Kings, and I looked at that and I was like, oh, We Three Kings
Ooh.
brought Heart Skull. Let's
Horrible
not.
first few turns from Ombrarch. I mean, look at the knock crit and toxic miss. Dang.
Yeah, tough.
This is nice, I guess. You have Heatran in. If this
Ooh,
is like,
eruption.
it's defensive. Cool. Nice fire resist. It's actually Urshifu, but this is still not going to appreciate taking this in like, what, 40?
58.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dang.
goodness.
I need to put some more respect on Heatran's name. Holy. U-turn
think-
into Zapdos.
I think after the next rock switch in though, Melmetal just lives eruption. That one is so ridiculously bulky.
Depends on what the melee is, though. If it's superpower versus earthquake, it's like, if it's
Yeah.
earthquake, you can't really touch the trend, so it's like, what are we doing here? But if it's superpower, then absolutely, you can just send it packing.
Yeah. Because I've done some calcs, like Heatran needs like modest like charcoal to kill with Magma Storm or something. It's ridiculous what Melmetal can do.
Chomp loses its lefties, but in exchange gets that Toxic Stick on the Lando, which, depending on who you ask, could be quite useful, considering you have, your own Melly in the back who...
Yeah.
I mean, you're still punching through the Lando, but now it's
Rillaboom and Melmetal both going to appreciate Toxic on the Lando.
Yeah.
The
Rillaboom is also...
Balloon here. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It also gives Farflaile, as we saw from turn 1, so... I feel pretty
gives up a fair bit of damage.
Magma? Okay. This is outside of Shadow Ball range, so it's like, you could stay in if you... Okay. Maybe it's not outside of Shadow Ball range.
It might not because it's a eruption. It could just be max timid, which I think might die.
Nasty roll on those Shadow Balls.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, but if it's offensive Heatran, it will just always die to modest and like 99% die to timid. So you can't stay in there, but I assume he thought Pex lived there, but that is a crazy roll.
I mean, this is the thing, right? I mean, if you're not, like, fully beefed out Spit F Pex, and even if you're fully beefed out Spit F Pex, it's like, you're one Spit F drop away, you're like, a couple Rock Switch-ins away, and suddenly you're, losing versus, the Specs Pult.
Yeah.
Melly comes out now.
Yeah. Depending on the Melm spread, it probably could have taken 2 Shadow Balls, but I just don't think he wanted to do that so early.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you want to keep Melly around also for the Lele, which is shown to be Scarf, and your Heatran's taken, like, so much chip at this point. This is what I was saying earlier about the Lando having to kind of sack itself now for the Melly.
Yeah.
Without the Toxic, you maybe could have come in for another round of, what's it called? Like, to Intimidate, but now you're just gone to Rocks. So, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like, I think... the Zapdos still looks like fantastic here, just into everything else. Like it might just solo. I don't know.
Yeah, the Chomp lost its lefties, right? You traded lefties for the knock-on. Okay.
For the Toxic on Lando. Yeah. I don't know what Arch's win con is. I guess it's Hurricane being a 70% accurate move versus the Rillaboom. But even then, I feel like there's enough tools to kill a Rillaboom.
Dasmer pitch the Lando, makes sense. Pulse comes in, Shadow Ball, pick one, etc., etc.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess you can hard Rilla and threaten Grassy Glide to not lose one, but I don't even know if that's worth it at this point. You kind of need all the health on Rilla you can get.
Yeah, the thing with that is, it would also give Pulse enough Grassy recovery to have 2 Stealth Rock switch-ins instead of the just one it has right now, which is somewhat meaningful. Which is, Dasmer just lets it go.
Yeah.
Now you got to
special
imagine
defense drop is huge.
Shifu comes out. Okay.
Yeah. There's like someone
what is Shifu doing here?
Someone just dies to CC.
Yeah, but like you could just go in a Chomp, right? And then
it won't kill, and the Chomp is likely slower because it's Spit F.
Yeah, but the Shifu doubles down with the rough skin stuff. And then Melly can come in and just be obnoxious.
I feel like that's fine, though.
Dasmer has his own Melly. Yeah,
his Mel's at 100, and the other Mel's at 50. Wow,
that's just like...
banded.
Wow. Respect on her Shifu's name. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This Zapdos looks like it's
turbo banded.
Do you save the Urshifu here? I feel like you do.
You can, yeah.
He does. It's a reasonable decision. You know Grassy's coming out anyway, and your Melly has HP to spare.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you need to, because I think this game is kind of just a wrap regardless, but...
Yeah, but then you're relying on the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with proper play. Flame Body for the one time? No. Okay.
No. I assume it is Flame Body too, because this team has good fire resist, but... No luck there. Wow, really no luck there.
Oh my.
I don't think that
was
matters
Earthquake,
much,
okay.
Because I think just, like, Urshifu Zapdos cleans, but, would have been nice to maybe get some luck with Rillaboom going and see what happens.
Okay.
But yeah,
Melly comes out now, I assume. Just a little Melly steering contest.
Yeah, I guess unless you go for like crit +2 drain punch on Rilla, which I don't even know if that kills. So yeah, wow.
Oh, flinch,
Yeah.
flinch for the one time.
Big flinch,
Heck yeah.
and then EQ crit, which I think matters through Rasa too. Which
Oh yeah, it absolutely
Yeah.
does. It absolutely.
yeah, this has been a very very lucky game, but I feel like the whole time Dasmer was kind of favored.
Oh, Dasmer with the early GG into insta forfeit. We've all been there on Barch. Hold your head
Yeah.
high. You got
Yeah.
hacked.
Yeah,
Kind of.
just double Iron Bash into Tabu Lele ends the game there. But yeah,
Mhm.
I think Dasmer kind of had that on lock the whole game. Like he played super well and then just kept getting secondary effects to like solidify it really early. Compared to this could have gone a bit
for
longer.
sure. That Zapdos, when you mentioned it, I was like, okay, wow, this Zapdos actually is going to go absolutely
Yeah.
crazy once I saw the Chomp got its lefties knocked and stuff. So
Yeah,
maybe
so
that
there's-
toxic turn on the Lando was just not worth it. Because he really
Yeah.
did want those lefties on Chomp.
Yeah.
If we want to load up the Damien the Genius versus they're on an alt. I don't. It's
I assume this is M Forbes because that's who.
yeah. I mean, I don't know who else you'd be playing in Gen 8 OU.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's-
versus Damien
that's
at the
SPL.
time his Esther matches. Is this
Oh,
SPL?
yeah.
That's
And
SPL.
Well, yeah, Groudon versus Christos is SPL, but yeah, Damien the
Oh,
Genius
this
is
game?
playing versus.
There we go.
Here it is. Hey, this is the same team. Oh, no, it's not. It looks similar. I saw the Layla, I saw the Shifu, the Lando, the Zapdos, and I'm like, hey, you know that team.
Listen.
But no,
Close enough.
somewhat different. Oh, crit on turn 2 on the Magnum Storm? Bruh. These are the things that really bite you in the butt later down the line. You're like, damn. I wish I had like an extra 20% on this Garchomp or something.
Yeah. I feel like if it's Protect Chomp, it can come back like somewhat easily. Just because it threatens Toxic on this whole team.
Shifu
But-
in on the toe. Okay.
Oh wow!
And things
Yeah.
have evened out. And now you have a Future Sight up in the air and you have an Urshifu Rapid Strike staring you down. This is what we call in the business, you got to pick one.
Yeah. I think Zapdos might live, but if it's pads, like Zapdos isn't getting anything. So it just dies right after.
I really like pads or Shifu. I don't know what your kind of thought process is on the band versus scarf versus like pads kind of thing. What item is best on Urshifu, but I like pads a lot.
I think pads is the most neutral pick. I think it has the most good matchups. So it's like by default the best, just because I think SS is a safe gen. But Scarf and Band do both have their place. Like we just saw in the last game, Choice Band or Shifu kill a Garchomp from 70. So
Yeah, he sent that guy to the Shadow Realm. You know, he sent
Yeah.
pack.
it is strong. And Scarf is really good speed control against stuff like SD Weavile, so they all have their merits, but Pad's probably best.
Yeah, I would say of those sets we just listed, if this is pads or banded, this is, I don't know, is that banded damage? That looks banded. That's hecka banded. And the Zapdos is gone. Or maybe it is pads and it's like 0 defense, 0 HP Zapdos. That maybe could be a thing.
This is technically a roll with Adamant Shifu versus like just normal max HP Zapdos. Like it can do that much. Actually, Jolly Shifu can do that much to just max HP, no defense. So that still doesn't tell us anything.
65? Really? That feels
Yeah.
like so much.
Jolly
Shifu-
Surging
oh
Strikes.
my. Buffing
do-
the Scarf only to be specs, Focus Blast, send Ferrothorn into next week. You love to see it. Okay, but now Shifu comes back in and you're like, oh man, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah. I mean, you can block losing one again with your own Shifu, but like then
Okay,
it can't take
so
another
Cloaking
Surging
comes
Strike.
in. You want to set it up, you want to get the Future Sight up, get your little teleport action. Actually, I don't even know if it's teleport. Maybe this is like
It does not learn teleport.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm getting my Slowkings mixed up. Okay.
Yeah, it gets chilly in Gen 9, but it does not have pivoting in Gen 8. That's why it so commonly runs Assault Vest. If this thing could teleport, it would be a menace.
Oh, true.
Yeah, but if it's Earthquake, it does a lot to Heatran here. But, I don't know, Lando isn't even a safe switch. Because the Future Sight comes up. Yeah, the issue is you have to pick between Earthquake to kill this, or U-turn on Zapdos coming in. Because if Zapdos comes in, something is taking a lot of damage from Future Sight plus Hurricane.
You could
With
honestly
Rock Set.
probably even Volt if you get Zapdos in for free.
Yeah, you could. And if you catch Heatran with that, the game is so heavily in your favor because Urshifu comes in and
it's
takes
like-
one.
Endo takes the Future Sight. Cool. Garchomp has opened up a little bit, maybe.
Like, Garchomp doesn't Oko Clef, but the Lele specs, so it might not need to.
Okay, so just Shifu hard on the U-turn, and it's like, okay, time for some
Something that-
uncomfortable questions again. Okay, why did you go into Lele? We know it specs, bro.
We know it's
Are you
specs.
just going for
Maybe he calced and it's Adamant Urshifu, because we don't know his Zapdos spread, right? So maybe it
That's
is
true.
Adamant banded versus like a bulky Zapdos, something like that.
Okay,
We'll
in
have
that case,
to-
this is very fine.
Yeah,
Uh,
they know
Looking
way
is-
more about the information than we do.
so true. Slowking can come in and probably just be like, okay, I eats.
Specs Psyshock does a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it. I don't remember if it kills.
I just don't
It-
know if you.
it
Okay,
does
well,
kill.
there's.
Specs
there's-
Psyshock drops it. Yeah, that was a
Oh
really
my
good play by
goodness.
Damien.
Yeah, and this is kind of like, I was like, okay, Moonbox guaranteed you something out of the turn, but it's like, okay, if Spec
It-
Psyshock just drops the Slowking, then it's like,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, it doesn't really guarantee you much because if Slowking does come in, it just gets another Future Sight up, and you're doing like 20 with Moonblast.
And that's what I'm saying.
But-
But it's like,
Yeah.
then you have gotten some chip, and now it's like, okay, knock off. Weavile.
That's regen all back immediately. Like I think I understand him going for that play, just trying to get the roll in Oko Slowking because it's in his favor.
Swing for
but-
the fences.
Yeah.
Chomp comes in. Magma Stormed. This is where the crit from earlier kind of sucks because it's like, okay, Chomp is at 26 when it
Yeah,
could have
you're
been, like,
so much
40 or
lower
something.
than you would have been.
Yeah, it does die to the next one, but also Heatran can't come in on Weavile again. So I don't know how-
Lando. EQ. Cool. Lefties. Cool.
This looks like a wrap for Damien. He should win, but what's the Clef? Oh, it's Rocks. Yeah, I was gonna say CM Clef could maybe cheese its way through Slowking, if it gets like 2 Calm Minds on a switch, but that's not happening.
Well,
It's not Calm Mind is the thing; it's Stealth Rock, so that's why it's not happening.
I mean, Hoshino Ruby, I wouldn't say they're out of it just yet. I mean, their owner Shifu still looks decent. Still looks pretty good.
The Zapdos is at 100 though. Like maybe if it's pads.
I mean, you
and-
could be protective pads, and then you
Yeah,
get a knockoff off. You go into like Lele or something.
yeah. Like it's still doable, but I just feel like Damien will just chip stuff with Weavile, and then every time he gets a Future Sight up, something will die.
That's that whole Weavile Slowking switch. That'll be very
Yeah.
hard to negotiate for Hoshino Ruby. Who is Hoshino Ruby again?
And
We're assuming it's M4
M4s,
because that's who they play this
M4s,
round.
right.
Yeah.
yes, it would be a big surprise if this was not M-Forms.
Paralyzed?
Yeah, this-
Nope.
This was just a friendly mid Estuary.
A friendly in that generation where both of them are taking it very seriously.
Okay, see,
Yeah.
and here's the Lele, and it's like, okay, Lele, but Lele's HP is kind of a valuable commodity at this point. You are down to 2. Okay, and the Zapdos is just max speed, so it's faster. All right, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah, we got Timid Max Zapdos. So yeah, I guess it threatens Urshifu too, so there's even less that M4s can do here. I assume it's probably Scarf Urshifu, at least, because this team has no speed control, because of specs like that, but you just get a free U-turn into Slowking here, and then another Future Sight. Yeah, like that's a lot, but like
More
another Future Sight goes up.
uncomfortable questions.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and in a turn from now, we're gonna watch a Pokemon faint because of this feature site.
yeah,
And it's,
like you
you know,
can.
and
This
of course,
is easier
doesn't
reserve.
have the
I mean, this could just
flexibility
stay in
here.
and pick off the Heatran. Like,
Yeah,
if it can touch it, No reason not to.
Like, you can go Urshifu here even, but if you don't want to take the chip, you just go Garchomp, and then if it dies, you go Shifu right after and get a kill. This is where missing the Toxic on the Shifu is really biting, because that thing has come in so many times.
Yep.
It's worth mentioning that the current weight is Damien. Damien is thinking about what to select.
Yeah.
Weavile.
Oh my god.
I
Color
mean,
me
Crazy
surprised,
switch.
okay.
it's...
I guess you don't actually need Weavile, but it's like, you know.
Yeah. Like, it
It
makes
was at
some sense.
100%, man.
Yeah, it makes some sense because Urshifu does the same at threatening Lando, but also, I don't think Weavile even dies to Clef if it's at full.
Oh, probably not. But it's like, I was more concerned about
Yeah,
just having the extra sack.
It never
okay.
dies to Moonblast, so you can just use it there. I guess it's bad into Urshifu, but any chip on Urshifu, especially a knockoff if its Scarf is big, because then Zapdos actually just wins.
Speaking of which, I assume we see Zapdos from Damien here. I assume we see, like, Clef, maybe? Well, okay,
Yeah.
Clef from M4s. You see Urshifu Rapid Strike, which is cool, okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
issue here, though, is just you U-turn, get back in Slowking, and you continue the cycle. Because that does nothing.
Yeah.
And if it is, like, Scald or Ice Beam and throws it out here on Lando, the game ends, pretty much.
I mean, at this point, you can just, like, Sludge Bomb, too. I mean,
Yeah, or, like, Future Sight is so safe. Because Urshifu can never come in on a Future Sight.
and it's like, you know, we see Chomp come out here. You could have very easily gone Zapdos, too. It doesn't even, like, take the KO with U-turn, so now it's like, okay.
22 feels
you
like a
go
lot.
Urshifu and you U-turn, or you go Clef and you take this Earthquake plus Future Sight. And you imagine the Clef is soft wielding here, but it's like, hey man,
Yeah.
that's an Earthquake
But,
and a Future Sight.
yeah. This is offensive Garchomp, presumably, because that did so much damage, not Spadef. So, like, Clef is not enjoying taking this.
This Chomp can honestly even Sword Stance if you want to predict that, like, Clef eating the Future Sight. Like, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Okay. Or just Cloaking.
Yeah. Damien is playing this very solidly.
No reason to
'Cause, like-
make a play, so just play
Yeah.
in the game.
Because you can just Future Sight up here, sack Chomp, and then Zapdos on U-turn or Urshifu on Earthquake, and just get another kill. And he'll be up a sack the entire game. Yeah. So on U-turn, yeah. Presumably Zapdos here, or if Clef comes in, I guess it's just Slowking again, get more regen.
Nice Clef. Nice Slowking, click Poison move. If you have
Yep.
it, pick up KO.
It does, it revealed it. But yeah, something's dead.
Sludge Bomb, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get Future Sighted on, you know?
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
I mean, this game still isn't over, because I think the move Hurricane has to be clipped.
on the
like-
Lando?
Never mind. The move Hurricane does not have to be clicked.
Yeah.
I also
Wow.
think this. I think Slowking
Lando,
lives to
more
it.
like Land, don't. Switch it in, because you're going to lose.
Yeah. I mean, this is still a little tricky because you can't kill Shifu here in one turn. And if it's Scarf, you can't go hard into your Zapdos. And you need this, because I think Clef solos Zapdos or Shifu.
I mean, Cloaking eats a hit, though, right? Like, it doesn't...
Yeah, but then it
58%.
can't kill back is the issue. So then Scarf Shifu...
Well, you would just get a
it-
Future Sight up, then you would go into your own Urshifu. Okay,
Yeah.
or you just... Urshifu first, fine.
Yeah, if it dodged
Okay, that is also doing no...
every static. So yeah, what I'm thinking here is if you trade the Shifu here, and then... So Damien probably loses the Shifu here. And then Zapdos comes in. And Volt switches. Yeah.
Little Aqua
but
Jet
then-
for the chip makes sense.
Clef can come in. And then I think you're in a bit of an uncomfortable spot because he'll go back to Shifu. And I don't
Don't you
know
just
if
put
Slowking...
Thunderbolt
Oh,
here?
no,
Okay.
he just stayed. Okay. I mean, there was potential outs if he was like Ice Punch, obviously, but yeah, that looked very tough for...
All right, and there's Damien.
Yep. That was very well played.
Absolutely. What are we feeling for the next battle?
Ooh, I don't
what
even.
we got-
I don't
what
know
we
if
got
they're
going
still
on?
rolling.
Ikaishi versus Kustavan?
If
Yeah,
we
why
if we
not?
watch
What do
this, it's going to go to the semifinals. This is going to be a long game.
Okay, we will skip that game then.
I'm trying to find games that are
Watch the
active.
crowd on Christo's game.
Crying versus Fish Anemometer? Is that a game?
Yeah, we can pull that in. It won't go that terribly long.
50 turns, but a little bit of a spoiler. It's quite advanced in the game state.
Hey, nobody
Yeah.
saw that.
Wow.
Nobody saw that. Don't worry about it.
Turn 1 crit. What Oh, okay. We're getting all the extracurriculars this turn 1. Crit, sludge bomb poisons, all the extracurriculars. Can we get a burn too? No burn. Cool. Lefty's tar. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Or rocks.
This
duels.
game is
Rocks.
over, by the way. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we do see.
The problem is that round 4 has just started, so we're gonna watch the summary of this game and then go
Yeah.
into a round 4 game.
It's Helmet Pharaoh. I feel like I haven't seen Helmet Pharaoh in a very long time.
it's still fairly common on some structures, just because you really need the extra tip on some things. Like, this team kind of folds to some mods, just because
Shifu comes
the...
in.
yeah.
Left on the CC, or are we just gonna get a U-turn? Very cool. Smogon comes in. Hey, Smogon on Clef. We've seen this movie before. But in this case, Crying is just doing a fabulous job just doubling around. Fish always goes to Clef. One of these turns, Fish should just like throw in Pharaoh. Just be a little greedy. Be like, you know what? I know you're U-turning. I'm in your head.
But that's leftover.
This is not that turn, though. This, I think...
So good into Slowking.
Honestly, quite surprised we didn't see, like, just rocks or, like, maybe Stone Edge or something there.
Yeah, I think that was
get the rocks.
Yeah, that was trying to be a call-out on rocks to Fish for poison. Because this is kind of the only thing stopping the Slowking from just spamming moves.
Yeah, well, the Tar got it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the crying Slowking got it. Got the sludge bomb poison on the Tar. So
Yeah.
survivability definitely down. Hippo eats the pump for it. I was gonna say maybe a toxic, but rocks is fine too. Slowking can come out, sponge the pump. Cool. Back to Hippo.
Imagine
on a
had that been a
miss.
hydro pump.
Yup. Slowking back in. Eat the hydro. Back to Hippo.
Crying is
I mean,
doing
Crying's playing
very
this
well
game
with these
right.
like prediction games.
I don't exactly know how necessary all of these are, but it's like, I mean, he
If
is
it
getting
works.
all of the right calls. Dragon is burnt now. It's interesting. It's flash cannon.
That does so little. Wow.
Does not show lefties, which is interesting. Scarf, probably. Loken comes in on the Torn, and is now asking more uncomfortable questions, like who is switching
Oh my
into this
goodness.
flamethrower? Drill, not appreciate that, like much at all.
Yeah. No leftover drill. It's yeah. For a flamethrower and spin took 75. But also
To
the
cover
drill.
now. No more of this doubling into hip out on nonsense, which would have worked
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
you know, no need to make those plays anymore. I didn't really think there was a reason to make those plays in the first place, but Crying was out here stunned.
Yeah. going for just a couple layers because Paralyzed Corp doesn't actually want to take on Ferrothorn.
This Torrens taking the Sand Chip, taking the Poison, Future Sights in the air. So unsure about how much you actually want to stay in. Taunt, okay, so you eat the Future Sight plus Sand plus Poison, and I think that is just enough to take the Torn out.
Yeah. I guess Torn wasn't doing too much with Coco, but it was still nice to have. And then
the mileage that this Excadrill has gotten just forcing out the Coco 3 or 4 times or something like that.
Yeah. And Hydreigon is the Clefable answer. So this is looking a little bleak.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Slowking, the true answer comes out, but
Slowking does not do a lot to Clef. Like, without Brits, Clef technically can just muscle through Slowking.
All it takes is one. Is one.
One will just drop it, but it needs that one, and this starts doing less and less, so Clef can start attacking soon. It depends what attack it is, though. Because, obviously, Moonblast still doesn't do very much.
Not the Thunder! Are you kidding me, bro?
It is Thunder.
You should have just gotten the +6 then, Fish. Oh my lord.
Usually you do see that on Life Orb.
Oh my goodness.
Dang!
Wow.
It actually doesn't. All it takes is one. You need a couple of them.
Yeah, you need either 4% chip, or that could be a roll. I think it is a roll.
That did 0%. That Surging Strikes, it did.
Yeah.
That bounced off.
And then, nothing can kill this at 25. Because that does 15.
3 soft-boiled.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Electric Terrain is now buffing this Thunder to 2-hit KO the Slowking. Which is very funny.
What is this, an ORAS game? Why is Calm Mind Clef doing it again in every this mon does it in every generation. What am I even talking about at this point?
Yeah. It's low-key better in SS than ORAS. This one is crazy. Because even...
Clef is so good that people saw this guy doing this in Fairy Gens and was like, in prior Fairy Gens, were like, wait a minute. Who cares if Clef is a fairy or not? We should just keep using it, because Magic Guard and all those utility moves are broken.
Yeah. So this game is
backwards
over.
Development benefiting Clef.
Yeah. Clef gets a big 6 kills in a row. Off woods for good measure. So you can't get crit, and then Coco can't even win with a crit, but still, yeah. That game is over.
Yeah. And we can actually follow Fish and Anonymous to their next game versus IPF. That game has just gotten started.
Oh, shout outs, Fish. Let's go. Will we see the same team? We will not. Very cool.
Yeah. There are a lot of strong players playing right now, and there are a lot of stall teams. So this is a good one to follow, because this one probably won't go forever.
I had the last 3 rounds. I have been just opening recent Gen 8 games towards the conclusion of the ones that we've been watching, just going like, all right, now you have hard stall. You're going to 155 turns. This game is nearly over, but we'll follow Fish for a moment, because this game will, this game won't end in 15 turns, but it also won't end in 150.
Yeah,
that's my man Fish. Also, shout out Heatran for doing his job and burning the Weavile.
Yeah, I mean, this Weavile isn't a big threat in this game with double steal and Pex, but burning it is kind of nice, because it makes Chomp, if it's SD, harder to revenge, but I think it's probably just rocks on grassy terrain, because we've seen a very similar structure to this. Possibly the same team, because this is fairly common. Yeah, it is just the defensive rocks.
Lando trades the Toxic for rocks. Cool.
Yeah, we just watched someone using this team, 2 rounds ago? I don't remember who.
Fish's team?
Yeah. Versus Dazzle.
Yes.
Umbrearch, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So this is a very, very popular team. It's very good, that's why.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about live tours and S-Tour specifically is that by nature of, especially in Gen 8, where a lot of these games are going to end after the next round goes up, you're kind of incentivized to load the same 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah,
And my heart
like,
goes out to the hosts for the Gen 8 tours, because this will take so much time.
yeah. Comfort in these tours is very important with team selection, and that just so happens to be a lot of bulky teams for a lot of players in this gen.
Yeah, there's very little value in pulling up a team that will be, a mystery to your opponent if you're also not going to know how to use it very well, right? Even if your opponent can understand what your team does on team preview, if you know how to pilot it and you've done it in the seasonals or the whatever, you're going
We
to
just
be able
saw
to pilot well.
IPF throw a Heatran in on Chop, which is, needless to say, very interesting. Okay, and yeah, we see that immediately remedied with the Heatran switching promptly out.
Yeah. This Weavile is doing nothing here.
Yeah.
I guess it knocks the helmet.
Protect his item. That's cool. No more helmet for you. That might have been, I don't know, marginally useful.
Helmet is only hitting a Buzzwole, not clicking Earthquake. So, yeah, I feel like just getting the extra chip on Weavile it's whatever for Fish, because he gets typed. Great Heatran
comes out.
Yeah, because if Heatran gets knocked there, it's not very good, but possibly called the...
Well, Heatran is
double.
blue, so he lost its item.
No, I mean
For
IPF.
Fish.
IPF's getting
IPF.
knocked by Pex there wouldn't be amazing. Because you kind of want this to sit versus like Torn and stuff, but...
Dude, you could just stay in here in Magma Storm. You're built like that. Yeah, he is built like that.
Yeah, that was a very good play. Because I was thinking
U-turn.
stomping Tantrum could do a lot. Wow, U-turn Flame Body too.
Well, it was Chomping, right? So the Chomp is going to be Earthquake.
Yeah. This is Protect Heatran, then this will just be dead to rocks, I think. It's not. 34 is still quite a bit to Weavile, but yeah. This Chomp cannot take any more hits. I wonder what's being thought about here. I guess maybe IPF considering double it? No, he's clicked. It's Fish thinking. But I feel like, yeah, Pex is just...
I mean, I imagine this Weavile's just clicking knocked off.
here.
Like, it's done its job. Not much is going to happen here.
Yeah. Like, you could have forced a bit of progress by doubling Lele there, but still, like, the Weavile is entirely useless, so sacking it is fair as well.
Yeah, there's no strong incentive to play funny to get your Weavile alive.
Yeah.
And this is still awkward. I mean, this Heatran is a big issue. Nothing really wants to come in on Magma Storm. Like, literally, actually, everything just kind of folds to Magma Storm at this point if it switches in. Assuming this Pex also, it's a Earth Power Heatran, so you can just, Magma Storm, Earth Power, Taunt, do all that stuff. So, do we see Pex actually maybe just traded here for like 60% on Heatran? Yeah,
I guess it is. I guess it is going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets the
Take the
knock,
knock
and then
It's Flame Body.
it'll get a Scald here, which
Yeah,
like
and you'll end up at like
actually it might
lefties
not
off
get a
Heatran.
Scald, or it might just kill you.
about 60%. Oh, it's not Earth Power.
Oh, it's heavy. Okay. I mean, makes sense. This team is very weak to CM Clef otherwise.
Cool. Yeah, like 60 on Heatran, lefties off for the Pex. Probably worth it. Probably worth it. Well,
What's the Torn?
Looks...
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the Torn looking like? It's poisoned, or no, it's burned. It's burned.
Burnt. I mean, that's not horrible. But Buzzwole does look kind of.
If it takes an ice
threatening.
punch, if it takes an ice punch, I don't think it's taken a second one, even with regen.
Asking some uncomfortable questions. Okay, Chomp came in on the double. Brings Weavile in for the sack. Torn comes in predicting Buzzwole, I guess. But I don't even... Switching Buzzwole in there is like... Nah, no one makes that play.
Yeah,
Weavile,
and getting
you have to
getting
assume
more-
this is where the Weavile finally gets let go.
both heavy slam. More surprising, Fish is heavy slam, considering he has better outs into CM
He's a
Clock.
Melmetal and stuff, right? He's a Melmetal,
Yeah.
he's a Pex, he's Rillaboom.
I mean, can never be too safe into Clef. We just saw it beat an AV Slowking, so
That is so true. That is so true.
Doesn't Tapu pick up something here though?
isn't Melmetal
Melly's
at
at
full?
full, right?
Oh,
Melly can
right, that's
definitely
fair.
hit some hits. Unless
Yeah.
this is focus blasting, in which case, goodbye Melly. Oh my
Oh, it
lord!
doesn't even
And
pick-
Heatran just
Oh,
okay. Wow.
Wow. That is the weakest Choice Scarf Lele I have ever seen in my life. Versus, I think it was Max Fizdef Heatran based on how much it took
Yeah,
from Weavile.
this has to be big Fizdef, bro.
Yeah, which I guess that's kind of strange. Maybe he just didn't calc, but like it didn't even live on one. It lived on two. So it's like that clearly is a roll that might not even be close to its favor. So
IPF
was
is
a-
flabbergasted. He's like, did I really just throw my Lele away for no reason?
yeah,
Yes, IPF. Unfortunately, you did.
that was a big miscalculation. Considering Lele, if it gets the calls right, is still really good here. Like if it Focus Blast Melm once, Moonblast kind of gets freed up really quickly.
Right? That was also your only guy faster than Torn, which is like, all right.
Yeah. Like, Rodom is fine into Torn, but if it just gets knocked, then it gets U-turned on every time, and Rilla comes in.
Okay, cool. Buzzwole is in, it's Boots. Torn comes in. Probably clicks knockoff. Could just Hurricane. Ask some uncomfortable questions.
I feel like Torn will just do the knock U-turn song and dance to pivot around.
Makes sense.
What's the... Oh, yeah, the Heatran is almost dead as well, so it can't take a knockoff very well, but... Wow.
Heatwave.
Keywave...
Okay, well that tells me it's not flying move.
It's not Hurricane. I actually don't think that kills Buzzwole, which is funny. So
Definitely not.
Buzzwole all of a sudden might just sweep, because if it kills Torn in the 1v1 and gets a defense boost, nothing is killing it.
Doesn't it have to dodge Toxic?
Yeah, I guess it would just be Toxic.
Well, yeah, but it
Try
can...
and get the pick one with...
Yeah, it might 1v1 everything before it dies to Toxic.
Aaron gets to pick one though with Magma Storm. I mean, it just looks, even with the Lele being binned for no reason, IPF still looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Focus Blast. Show me Focus Blaster the one time, please.
Yeah. I don't think Heatwave kills this.
Oh, definitely not. It's a Heatran.
Yeah. Well, it could be Fizdef and then maybe a roll or something, but yeah. Well, now it
Heavy
does.
slam.
It went for the safe damage rather than potentially missing, because the Chomp Sack was fairly obvious there. Yeah, goes back to Torn to fire off the Heatwave.
You think this is a case of, okay, never mind, of like PS lying to us, and like it says Heatran's at 13, but it's actually at like 12.4. Because I was thinking, what if you just went Rotom there, right? It's like, what drawback does that have? You get a free Volt Switch off. You could, Will-O-Wisp if you really wanted to, and then you keep your Tran alive for like getting a hit off on Melly or something. But
Yeah,
that
I mean,
was
I don't
not
even.
the
I don't think
line
that's
I
even
picked.
necessary at this point. Like, this looks very commanding for IPF, unless he gets quite unlucky. But I don't even know what luck could happen, because Rilla cannot
the
break
Aerial Ace
Buzzwole
Rillaboom. That's what could happen.
through. I mean, maybe Toxic Melmetal, like Toxic Protect, stalling it out forever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That eats. And now Big Buzzwole comes in.
All right, Rillaboom. Do you even learn Aerial Ace? I don't think so.
No, I think
Nice
it's
punch on the
acrobatics.
Torn. Nice
Oh,
crit.
big crit. Yo, just CC here. He's your turning to Melmetal.
CC kind of is what you.
Like, you don't have to risk it, but CC is the baller play.
I mean, there's also no reason not to road him here, right? Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like Rillaboom can come out. Congrats, you have given me more grassy terrain for my Buzzwole to click buttons
Yeah.
with.
As
You honestly
Fish,
don't even-
kinda, I think Fish has to double Torn here to keep it alive, because it took the crit. So,
Yeah. Swole.
yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Cool. But now it's like, all right, well,
He's gonna U-turn again. Because again, he has to. This turn will die. Yeah. Like, IPF just has to be a little careful because this Rotom eventually will die because it's toxic. But he doesn't have to be too careful. Like, he just can't let...
in now.
Yeah. He can't let them cycle forever, but with the Lando sack, I think he's fine.
I mean, you just click U-turn here, right?
As... Who?
Rillaboom?
It doesn't have it.
Knock first.
Right? It's Sword Stance, surely. Yeah.
Lefties, Sword Stance, Knock, Glide. Like Woodhammer? Yeah, that makes sense.
It should be Fighting move last. Drain Punch or Superpower.
Okay, right.
Yeah, for Heat Train and stuff.
How to hit those steel types. Drain Punch makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, I mean, you can just Ice Punch here and be like, cool. Hello, Torn.
Yeah.
Eat my fist.
Yeah, and then most of that progress that you made U-turning 4 times is kind of reset.
Yeah.
You can do it again. Nothing's stopping you from doing it again.
You can. It's
You
just...
get every turn right.
Yeah, if you
Rotom
get
will
hit
win.
here...
Oh!
Okay, well,
Yeah. I mean, this is a potential Melmetal angle, but I just don't think it has enough.
Okay, if it was Tech Melee, I would have expected Tech Melee here, and then just Detect. But,
Oh wow, it's
Leech
Life.
Life is so
That's
significant.
I mean,
Yeah,
that ostensibly
isn't going to die
doesn't
then.
really matter at
I
this
think
particular juncture.
I think it might have lived 2 Ice Punches because of how bulky it is. And then, I don't know, maybe you can like Drain Punch crit.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness!
that was a great close combat.
Yeah. I assume it killed Rilla regardless, but
If this was a Tech Melee, should have gone Melee
It-
first. Just
it could
Tempted.
still be. Never mind.
okay.
Is that dead? Yeah. Now
Yeah.
it's over. Yeah, because even if it is like triple protect, then Lando into Rotom will clean it up.
Oswald.
Plays it safe, gets the drop, goes Rotom. Wisp, yeah. That was just played. Wow,
Sub.
Wait, if that dodged the Wisp, that actually could
Yeah,
have
if
done
that
it.
Wisp hadn't had hit.
Yeah, but IPF, I guess, played as safe as he could there. Tried to scout for if it was protect, and but yeah, that was a good game.
All right.
If you want to check out.
So everything else is just stall now? We have to go watch more stall?
Custovan versus OUTJ Zach, aka Giannis, has just started. It looks like maybe it's going to be a slower game than like hard offense, but the problem is that the last round that started was a while back, right? We started IPS versus Fissionometer alongside round 4. Round 5 has just started if we want to.
Let's watch a new team.
seconds,
Let's watch a
but-
new team. Instead of
Oh, there's a Victini.
This-
I'm loving this team already.
If this
from,
looks like it's going to take a little
to be
while,
honest.
we'll just jump into another
Yeah.
game. No big
Yeah,
deal.
I'm going to wait for some of these R5 games to start and see which ones look reasonable
me
to
too.
watch.
No, Nature's Madness, okay. I imagine we see a U-turn here, but
probably,
I guess we don't have to.
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say we should pick a new game because we have watched this 6 play 3 times in a row. People love this.
Yeah.
Game.
Well, round five has just started, so I'm waiting to see the
Yeah.
Gen 8 games pop up on my feed.
Let's see. We are, what is this, top 16 for round 5? So we're getting up there.
Let me see. It looks like top 16, yeah.
Yeah, and this
Do you
is
think
the
this
only
Victini-
round 4 game.
Zach's side.
What the Victini
Like,
says.
I imagine we'll see it come out right now and do some stuff, but okay.
Yeah.
Are you Scarf? Are you
It's
maybe some-
typically boots 4 attacks. Like V
I was
create
gonna
bull
say
strike,
boots like some
you turn
super coverage
glaciate.
nonsense. Can we get
Yeah. Like I assume, yeah, just U-turn for safety.
cool?
I thought it could glaciate there, but I guess it didn't want a 50-50 versus Heatran.
No, I was literally just thinking about that. I was like, wait a minute, what if this glaciates right now? Oh man.
Yeah.
Some of my fondest memories involve glaciating random Blandos and Chomps back in like Gen 6, Gen 7. That move is so funny.
Glaciate also does like 45 to spit up Trumpo. It is so weak.
Oh, it's the eruption trend. Right.
Yeah. So it's...
I mean, Scald is kind of a tough switch for like coming off of Slowbro here.
That's for Def Slowbro? That's like nothing. It has some Spadef.
Yeah, I assume it's some sort of.
Yeah, I just loaded up the first 2 games of round 5, and neither of them look particularly promising.
They both have bulkier teams.
Ooh.
We could maybe do the Novax versus Halam game.
Oh, the bro is toxic already. That's okay.
Yeah, that Heatran
Really just gave that up.
All of a sudden looked more threatening. I guess he just didn't expect it and thought maybe just taking a knockoff would be fine. But toxic is a bit worse because that's more residual.
I mean, it's like who are you switching into that though, right? Because it's like if you bring there's nowhere you bring Pharaoh in. You bring Torn in on Pharaoh. It's some backward logic there.
Yeah. Well, typically Coco answers Torn very well.
FC, do you want to load up this Halam Novax game and see if this is maybe worth switching to? It looks maybe better to me, especially because there are new teams.
Yeah, it does look like an interesting game.
Yeah, so we can switch over to that, and this one will actually be a current round game rather than a delayed one.
Yeah.
I think you probably just search up Halam's name and.
Yeah, Novax versus Spiritomb Band.
Spiritomb Band. I love these double Tapu teams. The Lele Feeny combo is unmatched.
Yeah. And it's really fun with Magnezone, because if you get rid of Ferrothorn, then Feeny is like the best one in the game. And then Lele also gets super freed up. It can't trap the Heatran, but that's what the Feeny's for.
Yeah, we have the other 3 games. They're all stall / much slower teams.
Yeah. You guys see that Lando lose a normal gem when it got knocked off?
And see that it's a big boomer.
Not clicking it, but it would keep rocks up.
Okay, well, rocks are being kept up right now. This Lando is putting in OT right now. I mean, you just knock off this Melee's lefties if they give it to you. Otherwise... Oh, and the crit too, just for... Oh, my.
Yeah. Now Zone... Well, Zone actually doesn't trap this because it's not Air Balloon.
ID. Oh, my lords.
Yeah, that's quite surprising that it's not
Did I ID'd again, Halam. Oh, no. You're not lefties? You're not... What item are you?
It's probably on what, the Melmetal?
Oh, or the Magnezone. It wasn't lefties. It wasn't.
It's surely Choppleberry.
Because
that helps versus Sacred Sword Kartana, and I thought it would be Magnet Rise because then it covers for EQ and Superpower on Melmetal, but it didn't Magnet Rise, so I'm a little confused there.
Wild. Anyway, Kartana's in now and posing some interesting questions. Okay. And Halam's like, yeah, you are an unthreatening hero.
Okay.
I mean...
I don't know if I agree with that, though. I mean... Yeah, Rotom's gone, but...
Feeny should have this wrapped. Right? Unless CM Clef somehow beats Feeny and Lele?
That seems unlikely.
Yeah, because I assume the Lele is probably Specs, right? Because the card is Scarf.
I think this is wraps.
Yeah.
You see the Feeny come in right away.
If it's Taunt as well, then it's like
Taunt, Trapper Feeny.
Yeah, or just Taunt Stem.
Show us the money. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's not the turn that you want if you're Novax.
No, and now Feeny, you can just like click and attack, click
Okay,
sub.
Yeah.
Cool.
If it's not taunt, then it's usually sub. I guess sub had a lose con though versus CM Clef, but it does not appear to be CM Clef. So
Oh yeah.
I guess
Some early
I guess
GG's exchanged. I expect the forfeit. Yep, and then
Yeah.
now I'm moving it on. The what round is this? Was round 5? You said, right?
this was
Yeah.
round 5. Yeah. So Helm's in top 8. I believe the first person in top 8 because it was a quick one.
We could probably take a look at Luigi's game, Cano del Correz versus Luigi.
Yeah.
I've
So
seen no Zapdos statics this entire day, and I don't know if all these are Shifus or just like ads, which they could be. Oh my! Wow.
that is a
Okay.
very specs Coco.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
That dazzling gleam is
doing
doing
88.
1000%. Holy!
Yeah.
It's doing like 64 on a non-crit or something.
Yeah.
No, math is bad. It's like 58,
High 50s.
6,
Could be a roll,
50,
depending.
something like that.
Yeah. I feel like the Volcanion looks quite scary if it comes in here, but that's kind of the only threat. Like Luigi's matchup looks fairly strong into this team.
There's no lefties on this melee. That did 11%
Yeah.
off specs. Is this Assault Vest?
Yes, this is a very well known team that Kono de I don't know how to say the name, sorry, is using, but it's like Band Weavile, usually Specs Volcanion and Scarf Cart, and then AV Melm. Like this has been used in every tournament ever for years. It's a very strong team. I really like using it. But
Specs. Oh, Specs Volk, you said.
yes,
Right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's typically what it is. I think some people have ran boots before, just for better longevity, but Specs is very strong. I think it's slightly worse here because it has to actually lock into Water Move when there's a Feeny. If it is Boots, then it's so much better because it can freely Poison Move.
Oh yeah. Okay, well this melee is very annoying. You see Volcanion on the
Yeah.
Acid
Oh,
armor?
okay.
Okay, that's why it took so little from Thunder Punch. I was a little confused there because that was terrain boosted Thunder Punch, but yeah, Acid Armor.
Like Poison
Probably
Move,
like
like an
about
absolute.
that.
Okay, wait. Did he do it?
Yeah.
He's an animal. Are you kidding me?
I don't
Oh, no,
know if
they
that's. I don't know if that's Specs. That didn't do a lot.
I'd probably it is. I think so. This is still a Tapu Fini. If it's not Specs, then Luigi is like turbo boned here because Steam Eruption is coming out free as anything. But, yeah, okay.
That looks like the absolute min roll on timid Specs.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Luigi's staying in with the Fini. Oh my.
Yeah. Which is scary because everything is going to drop to Hydro Steam next time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Steam Eruption is coming out, and it's like you do not have good answers to this move. Okay, but I imagine this Coco is like, well, I was gonna say U-turn because like I feel like Coco should always be on U-turn, but like
It could be double pivoting.
just- yeah, you could just click a attack though. But I feel like U-turn is your best play here, right? It's like there's no shot the Zapdos. Well, the Zapdos can stay in, and you eat every hit, unless you're scared about getting like crit fighting. But who cares if you T-bolt? Then Lando's free.
Yeah. The issue is if
And
you
then Lando gets
do
pivot.
U-turn, this Zapdos beats all 5 other mons.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I mean,
Blocks
no
the Volt
stay in.
Switch.
On the Volt. Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, how does
No.
Zapdos beat Lando?
I don't remember if it runs Toxic on this team. I think it could, but also Hurricane just does a lot eventually.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I think there are a couple
U-turn
variants.
in.
Could do
Big Weavile in. That Fini's chilling at like
Oh,
little
yeah.
percentage, so
And this
knockoff is
is
kind of free.
I think it'll beat up here.
Beat up also real.
Yeah, it does more damage too. Yeah, this.
I must kind would it have been nice to take off this thing's item if it was like protective pads or whatever? Then you can, have Zapdos to do its thing. But beat up does do just 1,000%.
Yeah. I think it does also avoid knocking the Coco, which low-key I think it being specs is better. Because there's a pivot into all moves. But eventually Lando might get chipped to a non-specs one. And then Volt can do stuff, but... Wow. Great
goodness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that is...
De La Correz is out here to, drop bodies, take names. Oh my.
Because if this takes a CC, all of a sudden, one of your best win cons is almost dead. So
Okay,
that was a very good play.
Out. Hey,
What is your steam
nice
eruption
steam
switch on?
eruption switch, brother? Brother, nice steam eruption.
Yeah, it's gotta be Feeny.
Yeah.
That's not gonna want it.
Brother, nice steam eruption. Nice.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, and you trade 50 on the Volk for the KO on the Feeny. Is this worth? Is this worth?
I guess
I don't
this
know.
is in CC range now, I guess, but then what? You can just go Zapdos. Because there's no universe you... sacks it. I was gonna say, there's no universe you Surging Strikes there.
Yeah. Can the melee be threatening now if it's like... Your own melee isn't lefties. Your own melee doesn't exactly want to take like Earthquakes or something, and if Luigi's melee is toxic, then it's like... awkward.
Oh, melee is never not threatening, but
Yeah, I think the Acid Armor one is actually quite scary, because, like, I think usually it's Substitute, but it could also be Toxic, and then that does a lot to Zapdos, and Zapdos kind of, I guess, has to be Heat Wave to do enough back.
You
Which,
see cart come out.
yeah, it's not always
Sacred Sword
Heat
like
Wave.
an animal? Sacred Sword like an animal? Nope, just...
I was gonna say Knockoff is quite safe, because you want to get rid of something, but this Leaf Blade does a lot as well.
Mhm.
And Sacred Sword will be opened up eventually if this Lando takes too much.
You think Luigi's Toxicking here? That would be such a flex play. Like, something
I-
definitely, like...
I think he's way too scared to Toxic. Like, this is not a good position if you take another hit. Like, it would be a
Okay, well, I mean,
moment.
I wouldn't say that exactly either, because... Okay, let's say you just Leaf Blade again if you're the cart. I mean, what do you let happen? Okay, you let either Luigi's own cart in, which is, like, annoying, but you still have Zapdos, or you let Melmetal in, and then you have to be like, okay, this Melmetal actually is a huge threat, and if it has the right moves, like, let's say it is Toxic, you already showed us Iron Defense, then it's like, okay, well, it beats 4 out of 5 of my mons. So if it Toxics the Zapdos, then I just lose outright.
Yeah.
So I don't think you really can let the Melmetal come in here. Which
That
is
is
why I
fair.
think Toxic is viable.
I
Oh,
do
just
is
get
actually,
the Melmetal one?
the Melmetals are both at pretty much 100.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Okay,
low
see,
key.
now
I think
you're in a
this
bad
wins here.
position.
I think this wins
Yeah,
here.
now it's like,
Because
Melmetal, what are we doing here? Like,
on
are you
a
Toxic?
lot of these builds, the Zapdos is Hurricane Volt Switch, so it can't stay in and hit Melmetal.
Okay, it's definitely not Toxic. Dazzling
Yeah.
Gleam, great.
I assume it has to be Substitute then. Which, low-key, I would have clicked it there, just to scout what Zapdos set this is.
IDBP, and then Double Iron Bash.
It's a very fishy set, but it does work. Go-Go's dead.
Okay, I mean, that was
Oh my
that was a
goodness.
great EQ. I mean, that was kind of your way of getting damage to stick on the Zapdos, so... That's gone now.
Yeah. I think, at this point, it's Melmetal versus the world, but eventually everything can overpower Melmetal because of Sacred Sword from Cart.
True.
So you do have to punch a couple holes with this or Shifu first, I think. But that's difficult with Zapdos at full.
Yeah. I understand Dazzling Gleaming there, because it's like, you want to damage this Lando. You want to, and like, U-turn is a somewhat safe, obvious play, whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It was a
losing
U-turn
Coco
hard
for
call out.
Mm-hmm. Melee comes in on the
Oh,
surging
that's
strikes.
not what you want to
Okay.
see.
That bounces off.
Yeah.
Is
But this
double on your
is
bash KO here?
no, not even close. But also, I think this is pads. I think it switched moves earlier, so it can just CC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just CC, take him out. That leaves you with what? Cart or Zapdos? Both of which are cool.
Yeah.
Zapdos first. Man, I don't know if this... Because your own melee is gone, so that's one less guy to just hit things. Like, hit Luigi's melee. If Luigi can get a Toxic on this Zapdos somehow...
I don't know. It has toxic though. I mean, maybe.
No, but Sacred Sword is like just way too free now that Coco's down from Cono de la Clares's art. Like you don't.
Yeah.
'Cause Lando's toxic, right? What's the Lando at?
No, Lando's healthy.
Oh, Lando's healthy. Okay.
That's the thing. It wouldn't have been.
Oh,
Okay, well, I mean that helps. That helps.
Yeah. I assume we might see a toxic trade here, but
Yeah, I think that's worse for Luigi.
Oh, it's for sure worth for Luigi.
well,
But it didn't
not-
happen, I guess.
he's not trading
Okay,
any
yeah. Well,
damage.
that,
if you don't
neither
get it.
neither of those things happened.
Yeah.
But probably not toxic on the Zapdos. Boots are off for the Zapdos, which might be relevant if rocks come up and stick.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, that opens up Luigi's cart because this
Okay,
thing
well, now
cannot.
what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Zapdos
What are we
cannot
doing
hit a
here
move
now?
to
What are we doing here? Now Urshifu comes in. Yeah, clicks.
The
Surging
last
strikes.
3 turns, we just entered an alternate reality. I don't know about that play. I don't know that Aquajet is the right
That's a
choice.
miss. That has to be a misclick. Aquajet on the Zapdos has to be, no, that just can't be right.
Yeah,
Sacred Sword in Orlando, but because you missed those 3 hurricanes, Lando's eating that for nothing and can just U-turn or get rocks up. Probably U-turn.
Yeah. Still no statics. We haven't seen a static all day.
Into the Urshifu again, you gotta imagine, and then just
Katana.
cart. This has
Going
lost
for
its
huge.
item already.
You
Knockoff
just,
is
have to, you
not.
just have to expect that the Hurricanes are going to keep missing. Duh.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Knockoff
going
is
for
not finishing this, bro. The item is already
Crit?
off. What are you gonna see, like Giga Impact or something? Like what? What are we doing here?
Giga Impact would be funny. Leaf Blade, wow.
Wait, is that
almost.
Banded?
I don't know, but that did a lot, so probably.
Did Banded knock? Wait, maybe Banded knock did kill it. I kind of assumed this was like Scarf, considering you had like the Specs Coco and stuff. What?
Wow.
Doesn't Roost
Okay.
and risks missing, and then could have lost the Sacred Sword.
Listen,
This
it's not
is
like
gonna-
the Zapdos hasn't missed a Hurricane yet, so...
Yeah, this is a very
Lando,
weird game.
and on the jet, yeah. Just cart and then click Leaf Blade because your grass. Well, no, the Melly's still there.
I think you can knock
Sacred.
off here.
Yeah, knockoff looks good. Leaf
Yeah.
Blade, cool. Just do a whole bunch
Why
of
did
damage.
they
Melly's
use
coming
so
in now,
much?
but you always. No, but Zapdos is low. You actually can't switch Zapdos into Melly. Okay, so
You
they
can do
make the
that.
double there, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is Earthquake, though, yikes.
I don't think it'll
Would
be,
you be-
or, like,
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be that on an ID DP set.
yeah, because you don't need the steel
Mhm.
coverage. But it depends on what the Zapdos has to hit it. Because if it's mono volt switch, it I think has to volt into cart here.
Okay.
Alright.
Switching
Or-
Melly out, not even playing around with it. Lando
You think
comes
we're
in.
missing
Do we
another
finally
Hurricane?
see? Hurricane does not connect.
Hurricane and crit. This is
I don't know
world's
how much that matters.
unluckiest Zapdos. All right, static.
Okay,
after
now
10
now
tries.
this matters. Now this matters because it's like you can Earthquake now, and the Zapdos is perennially at 13%. But
Well, until the
Ooh.
para activates.
oh, are you kidding me? Did he break? Okay, that's about right. I
Yeah.
have such confidence in my mind that Luigi clicked Earthquake there. I have such confidence in my mind. And unfortunately, he was boned. Still though, Melmetal could just say, I am winning, and then just win the game.
As one does.
I don't know. How much is body press really doing to Zapdos, though? It's like, you gotta...
Next Weavile.
Why? Why was
Well,
Weavile...
if it's Iron Defense Melm, what is Weavile doing in the rest
What the
of the
frick?
matchup?
Does Sacred Sword just, like, blow Urshifu up? Surely it does, right?
I don't think from here. Shifu is very bulky.
Why did he
Yeah.
go?
Yeah,
Oh,
he had to Leaf Blade to kill it. But the issue is
Okay.
this. I feel like you go Zapdos and Volt Switch there after the Weavile sack because now this gets to do this, and now it.
Well, you
Oko
can't...
Cart.
Yeah, you can just
It
body
didn't
press
Oko-
forever now. Yo, the Melly just did it. Oh, my lord.
I
Is
think
this
that's
Heat Wave?
just,
You better be You better be Heat Wave, Kono de la Corres. I mean, there's...
if you have it,
Surely
you suck.
revealed at this point.
Oh, it's
It's
T-Bolt.
T-Bolt. Okay, is this a
Wow,
two-KO?
that did
Oh, it is.
so
Oh
much
my-
with
oh
Body
my.
Press. All right, so this comes down to if +1 Sacred Sword kills Urshifu, which I think it does.
Oh, yeah,
It could be a
sure,
roll. It could be a
definitely
roll,
does. Yeah,
though.
no, it definitely does. Is it 57? Yeah, for sure.
You wanna know something funny? It is a roll. So
Is it actually?
How much
it
of a
does
roll?
55 to 65. So
Oh, so a high roll.
Wait,
Pretty in
excuse me?
favor.
Ex-
I don't
wait, is
understand why that was Roost there.
You're
You
not
have
even.
to-
This Melly isn't
you-
even in range. Okay, now. Okay.
yeah,
okay,
you
okay,
have to
okay.
T-Bolt that because it needs to die of Sacred. So yeah, if Luigi
I
wins
was like,
this,
bro,
he will
what?
be very lucky.
What? If that roll, well, actually, it probably wasn't even a roll, but I'm like, oh my, come on, dude.
Yeah. All right. So we do have one more roll left in the game, and it's right here.
Wow.
It
I
is
have
heavily,
this is a banded Kartana, basically. I have trust that this is KOing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was heavily in Kart's favor, but chance. You always take those
Dude,
chances.
that was crazy on the roost, bro. What if you got crit? You would have just been down horrendous. Like, oh my, that game was a madness. I don't really even know what else to say. That game was a madness.
What do we got next? This IPF versus. Wait, IPF's out, isn't it?
Espresso.
Didn't we
No,
watch
IPF
it?
is still in.
Oh, IPF won. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
can
the only game I see is Custavan versus Giannis, which is still going.
Uh,
No
But
thank you.
the next
well,
round should be up
Let's peep that.
soon.
Let's peep that. Let's peep
This
that.
game-
The round is up. Have people not like challenged?
Well, I haven't seen Vertigo post about next round.
Round
in
5's up.
stores.
round 5,
No,
round 5 has been
we've
up.
been
We're
in
rating on
we've been in
6.
round 5.
We're rating on 6.
We're waiting on round 6 now.
Well, let's watch this. The IPF game is over.
Yeah, the
and
only
Giannis-
game running is Custavan versus Giannis.
Giannis has
Let's
won.
peep the Kustavan game. Let's peep.
It's over.
Did it just end?
Oh, did it just end?
Yes, the Victini
It's
just
about
recreated a Rillaboom.
Heck yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we're actually just waiting on the next round.
Okay, Gold Mason, informing the masses in the chat. Shout outs, Gold Mason.
Hey, anytime. Anytime.
Yeah, Vertigo should be getting the next round up shortly.
Yeah, all the
there'll
names
be a-
just got bolded.
Who are the names that are still left? We have
Kona de la Corres, Maverick Shooters, Weirdmon, ASO, Damien the Genius, DJ Illuminati, Talam, and then the winner of Giannis versus Laurel.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot
so
of
that
very
Giannis game
powerful
was a
names
round
there.
behind.
cool. All right, chat. Giannis versus Laurel. Over under 50 turns. How we feeling?
Way over.
Over.
Giannis is a passive player.
All right, round 6 up.
Spitfire versus Weirdmon, Conadella Chorus versus Hellam, Asso versus Maverick Shooters, and then Damien versus the Giannis Laurel extension.
Ooh. We should catch that Kono de la Coro Hellam game.
Yeah,
That would be very
we'll
fire.
see if it pops up here in a sec.
I'll actually be right back.
How do we feel about people who like use different like mains on PS versus their what's it called, like forum names? Like Giannis. I don't think I've ever actually seen Giannis on the Giannis. Like, does he even have that alt? Giannis Entente Como?
Yeah.
I feel like I never see him on that alt.
He
But,
doesn't
like-
play it. He doesn't play on it.
Yeah. Like DJ Berluminati versus Spitfire Arcanine? Like those are two different guys. but
DJ
they're the same guy.
Illuminati needs to just change his name. Nobody knows him by that name.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
Spitfire.
He was
Spitfire.
going Spitfire.
Personally, on my gaming, I do like on my actual like because I have the alt that is like my name, like the Ming 549 alt, and I play all the games on that. I'd just be chilling on like not that alt. I'd be on other names.
Yo, these guys got a challenge. They're
Yeah.
they're joining in a live tour.
Johnning in a live tour should be a bannable offense.
EU had a live tour yesterday, went quite well, but this was also happening like the later rounds, and I was like, dang, this tour has already been like 5 hours long. Why am I waiting here for any longer? That's RUPL,
Yeah.
the Kush 3D game. It'll be a good game.
Yeah, these go for a while, but we got time.
One yesterday went 5 hours, and I've never seen a game go that
Here's
long.
Laurel
Oh, we got
versus
one.
Giannis.
Let's go.
This is not going to be a long game, surely.
Yeah, this,
No,
this
There's a
looks real quick.
Blacephalon, and there is Laurel's team looks very, very placeable. Nice ghost resist, nice fire resist, nice, yeah, etc. etc. I could say the same thing kind of about Giannis's team, kind of. But, like, he actually does have a ghost resist and like fake ghost resists, which is like, all you really need. Laurel's team doesn't even really have a fake ghost resist. Ghost is Blacephalon.
Your fake ghost resist is like Urshifu Rapid Strike. No, that doesn't even resist. Never mind.
Your fake ghost resist would be like Zapdos since it's a blaze. Because I guess you could throw in Melmetal, but I mean, I guess if your first line of defense versus Blacephalon is throwing in Melmetal, I mean, just Godspeed, bro. Good luck with that.
Hey, that's when you just call it out playing. When you go AV Melmon Shadow Ball 5 times in a row.
Also,
Oh yeah, bro.
we're probably
yeah.
not. We're probably not going to be catching the Conadella Corez again because Hellam has brought like not hard stall, but
Ah, yes. This,
5-6
Okay, no,
months.
no. Let me peep that game. While these guys are sitting here, let me peep what the preview is for that game right quick.
It's two very standard, well-known teams. Like, we just saw the Volcanion one has made its appearance again.
Oh, the Specs one? That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
All right.
and then there's the Gastro Tabu Coco Scizor team that I think Empo made.
Oh, come
which
on.
was-
Gastrodon versus Specs Volk? Oh, you can't write it up better than that. I mean,
yeah.
that's the best mon you have for Specs Volk. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Anyway, that Hurricane on Lando, 48%. Nice chunk. That was a guy who could have swapped into maybe like Scarf Blaze Shadow Ball. Can't do
and
that
now it
anymore.
can't. Yeah. And the worst part is because it got confused, it had to immediately switch back out.
The Hurricane again? Oh my. Oh, Laurel, no.
I mean, I guess
This thing
Laurel's
can just
looking
Hurricane
at.
again. Like it doesn't care. You can just
I
get
guess
back and
Laurel's
like
looking at
Melmetal.
Giannis's team and is like, well, I know that my Landorus isn't walling the Blacephalon. I don't know what my strategy for it yet, but I don't have to worry about that.
Laurel Zapdos being faster is also like pretty unfortunate because Giannis can just get a free roost off here and be like, haha, I am back at 85%. Okay, is he going to give damage on the Melmetal too? This is the other fake Ghost Resist. So, I mean, if this takes like, a Heat Wave, a couple T-Bolts, ooh.
Oh my goodness, it does so much.
Yeah, that's a strong Zapdos. You got to imagine that's like big investment. Or this Melly is like no bulk investment, which I refuse to believe because that's a Melmetal.
Yeah. No, I think doing 48 to Lando is kind of the giveaway that this is a very, very strong Zapdos.
Oh, sure. Okay, Lando down, Rocker down, which means eventually, you get a defog off with feeding or whatever in front of, I don't know, or Shifu, and then, Pharaoh gets rocks back up on like Pult or Lele or Zapdos or Mel. Really, 4 out of the 5 guys left. And then it's like,
And then it's more importantly, how is Blacephalon getting killed ever without rocks?
That's, yeah.
That one is going to come in.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Show me Choppleberry Power Whip for the one time, Giannis. Show me Choppleberry Power Whip for the one time.
It won't even kill because it's intimidated, which is funny.
Wait, so true. So true.
It could be Chopple.
Crit Power Whip for the one time. Okay, Feeny comes in, and yeah, you got to assume a defog's coming out. That U-turn, 14%. Low-key feels like a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
It depends on what the Feeny is. The Feeny could be like fast, Calm Mind or something.
Okay, and it just calls out the... Oh, not even a defog. You're just okay with Rock staying up. Or I guess Zapdos is the defogger then.
Zapdos could be the defogger. And this could be... this could be Whirlpool trapping.
Whirlpool, yeah.
Yeah, for... Oh yeah, because if you kill Pex with this, Blacephalon and Weavile get opened up
so true,
heavily.
So true, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely probably is Whirlpool then. I mean, that's a pretty good Nature's Madness. It forces Roost on Zapdos at some point, and you can probably just go like Chomp here. Now that you're like marginally...
It forces it to die to Shadow Ball. So
yeah.
Every time something gets put in Shadow Ball range, the game gets a little bit closer.
This Zapdos is so strong too, though. But like,
both of the
you can't even like feel good about it. Oh, scale shot for the
you
4-piece.
Laurel, you have to feel bad if you're Laurel there because now you have to deal with a boosted Chomp, knowing there's a Blacephalon in the back.
Dude, all your ghost resists are gone. Now
No. The 3-hit is a roll as is, because it did 16, 16, 17, and then 1. So, like, the odds weren't super bad there to kill. But now you gotta give up all your health on Shifu, I think. Which is real bad.
Oh my lord. Wait, I thought Misty Terrain nerfed Scale Shot. Well,
only on grounded targets.
Targets, right.
Yes, so it does more to Zapdos, but if Zapdos clicks Roost first or something, it'll do like 5%.
Yeah. Anyway, nice like 65% you're eating from Earthquake here or whatever.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't run Ferrothorn. What do you need Ferrothorn for? Let's spice it up. Just throw Ferrothorn away. I'm here for content.
I go hard Blacephalon on CC and then double Pharaoh on Aqua Jet just to get a little bit more chip,
Oh, okay.
That's the ball of play.
Now that is something that's built different, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever seen anybody switch a Blacephalon into an Urshifu Rapid Strike like ever.
Hey, it would have worked.
Holy shit, it would have worked.
It would have worked.
It would have worked.
God.
That's crazy.
This guy's a genius. Wait, also the ground is gone. So Zapdos can like, haha, I'm faster than you. And I also have Volt Switch.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I think this game has been over for a while. It's just entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
The Blacephalon matchup is just not there.
Bro, the Blaze hasn't done anything, and Laurel's team is like,
like this kind of offense is quite strong into what Laurel has, and then it's like, hey, my best piece in this matchup hasn't touched the field yet.
I was gonna say, Laurel's team, I mean, it's not like he doesn't have gas. Like, the Dragapult has gas. Lele has gas. It's just neither of them have a... Yeah, they're 2 months down, and neither of them have touched the field yet, so...
Yeah. I think they definitely had to do stuff earlier. Like, Lele had to try and focus Blast the Ferrothorn, like, turn 2 or something.
Wait, but Lele hitting the field is, like, actively bad for Laurel, though. Because that means you can't jet the Blaze. So Urshifu can't even revenge that.
That's why I'm saying you have to do it early. Like, you have to hit the Ferrothorn with a Focus Blast, like, super early, and then try and, like, get some more kills with Surging Strikes, or...
Okay, now, I don't fully understand why Blaze came out here. You have a Zapdos.
I don't know.
Right.
I guess he's just assuming because it didn't reveal protective pads that it's not Aqua Jet, or that it's Choice Locked, rather.
Oh, this is gonna get Aqua... Yo, Laurel. This is your chance, bro. Please. Be...
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's no other items it runs, which is kind of the deduction here from Jonas, I guess. Like, reveal Mystic Water and Oko it.
Yeah. That. Frick, man.
Your Melmetal, Melmetal is your switch into Cephalon.
Yeah, nice fake ghost resist, bro. Nice fake ghost resist.
Double and live.
So maybe it's a
did it get the double?
Item.
You have to go for the double.
Yeah, I saw that, Gold Mason. Don't think I didn't catch that.
My fault. I thought it would go to my other monitor.
No worries.
Oh, no double! The fake ghost resist! No! Okay. So you have to go into Urshifu, and then...
And that is a good game.
Yeah.
It could also just not be Aqua Jet if it's Scarfed. Yeah. That was a fire close combat. I do rate it. You still lose, but I do rate it.
Yeah. No, I'm about that.
Also, that looks banded.
Please.
Yeah.
You don't have to do him to a... You can sack the Feedy, bro. Just give him the Mon. Come on.
He does not want this to be close.
Clearly, Store operates on point differential.
Blaze just wins. Oh.
Yeah. That was good. Very well played.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, we called it from the rip that Blaze was going to go crazy, but it really, didn't even have to go like that crazy. The rest of the team.
If we want to take a look at Spitfire Arcanine versus Weirdmon, that game is about to finish up, but we can.
We have some dirty offense from Weirdmon. See that Blaze again? You see that Mew? Oh.
Yeah, I loaded up this game earlier to see like what we could shift into, and I saw Spitfire Arcanine's team, and I was like, we probably can't do this. And then I saw Weirdmon's team, and I was like, oh, we can do this.
Yeah.
Scald on the Slowking. You don't see that every day. It's neat.
It's somewhat common on AV. I think it's kind of interchangeable with Earthquake, because Scald does like 40.
I see that Earthquake version more. It's like the Poison move. You got Future Sight. You have like Ice Beam, and it's like Earthquake.
Yeah, it's like you can do Flamethrower Scald. The only issue is Scald does literally nothing to Heatran, but it's so much better of a move to just click because of the burn.
Too as well, yeah. And then Glowking is down now. Blaziken is in. Lefty is cool. Urshifu coming in. Don't click protect.
Yeah, and they've exchanged GGs, so the game is over. But we'll get the recap pretty quickly for this one.
We're waiting in suspense here. Rillaboom, give me an SD right now. Dang.
Good U-turn. I mean,
it's not Life Orb either. Is that banded damage? 14%?
Could be. Depending on like Lando spread and stuff, or it could just be like SD U-turn, but that's not too common.
Mm-hmm.
Knock stuff.
Well, if it was SD U-turn, I'd imagine it would be like lefties or Life Orb, or maybe even I don't know. Something.
Sword dancing in front of a Ferrothorn is that's dangerous.
Bold. And then you just triple axle, like you just don't care. It's like Iron Barbs who.
And then not knocking it out either.
This opens Mew up like hella, right?
Not killing it is funny. Usually Mew would have something to hit this, because it can run literally anything it wants, and it needs steel coverage. But either way, it does free it up, because then you can't get like random T-waved or something when trying to set up.
Yeah, and you just close combat on the non-scarf Shifu. Cool.
Yep.
Close combat on the Shifu. You imagine you see Rill coming in here. Or just Mew. All right, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
It's a DD and all right.
Yeah, and that's banded.
Cool. I mean, if it's DD Mew, I mean, it should be stopped by... Okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
The
no,
mana
definitely
bus was
not.
switched hard in. I understand it kind of, but also not really.
Yeah, I mean, he just wanted to call out Psychic Fangs and not lose them on, which is understandable because you kind of.
This Mew
Okay, well the Mew is missing all his
Axles-
moves now, so it's like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
man.
but at this
one
point,
more triple
everything
axle miss
is
there. Ooh.
so softened up for a Rillaboom clean.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. Rillaboom comes in and let me click the +1 priority terrain boosted grass move. Yeah, let me get that. How many times? 3 times? Yup. Good game.
Yeah, because like you have
I
to
like
sack
Weirdmon's team.
You have to sack
This
Coco.
has a lot of personality to it. I like it.
Drop terrain, and then Rashigu gets coming out of terrain, but that's too
Yeah,
little
but
too
you
late.
can just reset the terrain. Oh, you choose not to.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, you
It's
just pitch it.
it's
Okay, then.
the Garchomp would be faster then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just stomping tantrum.
Stomping tantrum for the culture, and Weirdmon advances. That's what, top 4 for him now.
Yeah. So the only other game currently taking place is going to be the Halong game versus Como del La Corre. That game is still going.
All right.
The,
Things
there
have
is a-
happened.
Spiritomb banned. Spiritomb banned.
There is a game that is as of yet unstarted. Maverick Shooters is currently having tech issues, like their network connectivity is in question. So that game has yet to start. But
Damien versus
Ooh.
Giannis will also start soon, so we can switch over to that whenever that starts.
Yeah,
This Gastronaut
I mean, there-
is getting beat down. Holy.
yeah. There are things happening in this game, so it won't be as long as we would think looking at the
Oh,
preview.
this Zapdos is doing the dash. Oh my lord. You see that? Did 50% with Kane.
Yeah, that's absurd damage.
The Coco just toxic.
that's such an
Can we
aggressive.
pause it right here
turn.
for a second? Can we pause it right here for a second? Just like 1 second.
Nah, no pausing. We got to get through this, dog. What are you trying to look at?
The Coco, the Tapu Coco staying, click some nonsense on Lando. People have been getting sauced by that maneuver for like a decade now. Like that's a real classic situation you'd run into like SM. You'd like get the classic Coco versus Lando lead. Sometimes it's the Scarf Lando, sometimes it's not. But sometimes the Coco will just like click some nonsense like T-Bolt or Volt Switch or something, predicting Lando to like U-turn or whatever, and it works. I hate that. Every time I see that, it's like a little part of my soul dies. It's like just hit the man. Or like, do something. Anyway, that is that. I just needed to express the spiritual
Coco
damage
is
that I
fun.
took in that moment. Okay, see? This exact like in this situation, right on our screen, if the Coco could click like an electric move or something, like that would be okay. Lando just defogged. Still not respecting the Coco, but it's like
Damien versus
you don't really need to
Giannis
respect the
doesn't look
Coco.
too bad. I see a Clefable, but I see a Ferrothorn. I don't see too much terrible
Wow, that
otherwise.
Sludge Bomb did
Yeah,
infinite damage. If you're a real one, you stay in and you soft boiled again with the Clef. Dang, hell And now you have to take huge hit, confusion.
that Scissor's
Oh!
bulky, but that is quite bad. And the Zapdos is not missing.
Dang. Okay. I mean, D9's back at full, so I mean, good for D9. Not like Melly is particularly difficult at question right now. Yeah, you always have Scarm. Lando comes in.
I mean, like the only thing it could do is like catch Scarm with Thunder Punch or
This
Ice
Scarm is
Punch.
just getting spikes
but-
up, right? Yeah, I mean, you are not outstalling this. You gotta swap, or else
Yeah,
losing the land.
thing is, if it sits around for too long clicking spikes, Volcanion comes in and fires off a good Sludge Bomb and does get the poison.
The
So-
first turn poison.
Yeah, so like a Gastro.
Oh, I mean, Helm's in an
is in a tough
uncomfortable
spot.
position right now.
Because his Gastro is overwhelmed, taking on Zapdos and Volcanion.
On the burn on the Steam.
No burn,
No, okay.
clicks duty, and
EQ and it's
Volcanion's down. I mean, I kind of get it, but also not my favorite play.
I mean, you can be a little more flexible with how you play your your Gastrodon now that you don't need it to be eating flamethrowers and nonsense of that nature.
Yeah.
Lando. See, if Horace is going to double Lando in, wouldn't you want it to be on something that's not the Scarm? Because it's like the Scarm is just going to keep getting up spikes. Like you can't.
Yeah,
Really...
the Scarm's advantage Hellom in this situation.
Yeah, well, he's going
Okay,
it
but I
on
mean-
Coco, trying to catch electric move because like nothing else can actually take it. So I do get it.
Oh,
It's just
Roma
the Scarm is
poison
doing it
is
at good times.
Cool. Killing, the poison off Gastro is cool, but you also leave Clef pretty low, which might be relevant for like, I don't know, maybe Weavile in the future, or okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, that was a great clef there. That
That was a great, that was fabulous Clef, absolutely. Oh, first Hurricane miss. Gastro recovers just to be safe, no reason not to.
Gotta get
EQ
a
right here, or Earth Power. Cool.
gotta get a
EQ.
Zapdos Hurricane miss in every game, right?
Galta's actually doing like a pretty appreciable chunk too. And now Kane is starting to, the law of averages is starting to catch up to Cono de la Correz. He's starting to miss some hurricanes, and this Zapdos is
It still does so much to Gastro, but
yeah.
Zapdos will lose
Oh,
the 1-1.
Law of averages, baby, come on. One time, I remember this was a cap game. I hit unironically like 12 out of 12 hurricanes versus I think it was Mata, and he got very tilted. Much is his right, because I hit 12 out of 12 hurricanes. Like that, some insane stuff right there.
Yeah. Zapdos is very low now, though, and burned.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Well, as soon as the Gastro burnt it, it's like, okay, now it's more manageable. Because eventually you
Yeah.
have to force roost turns. You can Earthquake on those roost turns, or at least threaten it.
Those aggressive clefs on knockoffs are really good, though. Because he's not losing any items.
Oh, what a
That's
what a
super
baller
cool.
play.
Yeah,
What a
great
baller.
rocks. Yeah. I guess he
getting
just
them rocks.
assessed he doesn't need
And
clef
now it's-
anymore, which is fair.
Well, I was going to say Dazzling Gleam 1,000 times, but yeah, Volt Switch, sure, does the job. D-Knight comes in, Weavile comes in.
Low key, does Gleam do 8? I don't think it does.
Ooh, I mean,
To-
you might be right.
To
Yeah.
AV Melm, I don't think it does 8. And then
Okay, well, the
what
D-Knight's
was he?
down, so
Cart living a special hit. Crazy.
The first time in 2025.
Zapdos is back. I mean, wait, without the D-Knight, you get a couple Hurricanes. Oh, okay, well, all right, never mind. It's like maybe a little bit of fortune with Hurricane, and we might be in business, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, this
That was
Yeah,
again,
it's
though.
just
So
Death
now
by
it's
1,000 hazards at this point.
Astro. All right. For the one time, well, it's happened before, but can we get the confusion
confused.
and the hit?
Itself?
Okay. For the 2 times, can we get the hit for the 2 times?
Confusion?
Oh my goodness.
Itself, and it dies. That's crazy.
For the 2 times. Well, I don't think it matters because Dazzling Gleam and the cart
Hold
is
on,
down
what's
to
the
rocks,
cart
the
at?
Weavile's down to hazards, the Lando
Is
is
the-
yeah, down to Gleam.
Oh
It's
yeah, because
over.
Weavile dies as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
over.
Weavile could get an ice shot off, there was some chances here. But
Well,
Yeah.
well, not
This
even an
is
ice
still-
shard. You'd have to call the Scarm turn right, and then go back to Zapdos. You'd have to roost, and then
yeah,
Et
that's
cetera,
what
et
I'm saying.
cetera.
And then more confusion from Hurricane. But yeah, this should be
wait, actually,
wrapped up unless
Coco's
something
not.
crazy happens.
Is Coco KO this?
I think with
Volt.
Volt Switch it should.
Yeah, Volt Switch is kind of free here, isn't it?
Does
Yeah,
it?
because you
Volt
can
Switch is-
you just
Oh.
okay now it
Okay,
goes.
but you didn't roost. You didn't roost. Okay.
Yeah.
What if
Oh,
you
I also-
roosted, bro? Oh my, come on.
I didn't realize he does only have 1 Hurricane, so he can't actually do too much damage. Is probably the thought process.
Yo, he clicked Hurricane 15 times. Oh my,
Yeah, bro,
that's
spamming. it.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wait,
Alright, well-
wait. Lando gets a default here.
That doesn't
does
matter.
that-
You just get spikes back up.
Triple axle crit. Triple axle crit.
I mean, it's
The out-
Rocky Helmet. It would blow itself up before you could take out
Yeah.
the scarf.
As we
Valiant
said, advantage
effort
Skarmory in
from
this
Fondo de la
position.
Torres.
Yeah.
That Zapdos, oh man,
The
that bad boy
Zapdos did put in work.
okay. This is the best Zapdos I've ever seen in like maybe the history of Zapdoses.
Yeah. No move can crit here because he dies to Helmet. If he didn't die to Helmet, triple axle crit would be really funny.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. That wouldn't even wait. It would be enough because then you could pitch cart and then. Well, actually, no, because Coco could just roost on you, right? But
Big chip.
all right.
Good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can shift into
That's
Jonas
how
versus
I'm
Damien the
making it all the way
Genius.
to top 4, I think. Right.
Yeah.
Damien
So
and Giannis.
we have 2 of the top 4 are decided. I don't know if has
Okay.
Maverick Shooter's
Where's the-
game started or is he?
No, it
not
hasn't.
going to- Okay, so there's a chance
Vertigo-
he just
Vertigo
doesn't.
and ASO both gave the okay for. It
they
just
just started.
started as we talk. Yeah.
Okay, wait. I'm
That's-
watching
that's
this
good.
Dragapult click Shadow Ball for 5 turns in front of Weaviles, in front of Ferrothorns, in front of Slowkings. This guy's clicking.
Yeah. Getting that one Shadow Ball and Weavile is always important because then it dies to 2 the next time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Pharaoh getting up all these spikes though could be, pretty annoying for the melee for the Pult.
The Ferrothorns will be enjoying a nice handshake here.
Yeah, and this really is some of the funniest things that can happen in Mons gaming. You have 2 just like super passive blobs of nonsense, and it's just a handshake moment. You're sitting here, clicking buttons that don't matter, and you know they don't matter, but you can't switch because if you let the
Because then
passive
they will
blob
matter.
force you to switch. Yeah, then it will matter.
This is the Ferrothorn version of the Tuxpec Scalds.
Yeah. There was one time last year, I remember that this was a very funny interaction. I had a Hisuian Zoroark, and the opponent had a Ditto. And if you did not know, Ditto will not transform into a disguised Pokemon. But I was locked into Shadow Ball, so we sat there for 24 turns, clicking Shadow Ball and Transform. That failed on each
no.
other for 24 turns. And that's what this is. A Shadow Ball into a normal type, clicking Transform, or 20 turns. 21 turns. However long this goes.
They'll both die soon or switch.
Wow, what?
They both switch on the same thing.
This is the most
Then
handshake gaming I've ever seen.
Drift compatible.
I guess it makes
Exactly.
sense. It makes more sense for Giannis because it's in clef range now.
Okay, this is pretty big. So we have a Future Sight and we have Urshifu. And Lando, I mean, it's cool that you get your defog off, but
The Pharaoh's
I mean,
getting
that
sacked.
Ferrothorn
Yeah.
is not gone yet, and you can still get like a layer of spikes up on the clef. It'll be, we'll see how it plays out.
This Dragapult is a big menace, though.
Okay.
It doesn't take the free kill, though. I guess
Is Pharaoh
fearing Weavile
faster
to
than
come in
this?
there. No,
Okay.
like it would have
You
to
don't
be
even
like
have to. You don't have
T-Wave
to say
super
it.
speed
Fair
food,
either,
but-
yeah, you don't have to sack that. You can just big Gyapdos static.
no static.
Not so lucky. Not so lucky for
We-
Damien.
Yeah, we've barely seen any static with how many Zapdos
That's
we've
what I'm
watched.
saying. It's something. Yo, coders, chaos. What's going on here? Where are the static procs?
Oh, someone's up here.
We saw 3 flame body procs off of like 1 Heatran in that one game earlier. This Zapdos have been hit like 20 times. I swear we've seen like 1 static.
Everyone secretly has Covert Cloak,
They all
an
have-
item
they all
that for
have
sure
protective pads
exists
on.
in this generation.
Oh, protective pads. Covert Cloak would not protect you from your contact effects. That would be broken if it did, though. Imagine you put a Covert Cloak on, like, Urshifu. And, like, okay. In a theoretical world where Covert Cloak exists in Gen 8, imagine Urshifu could hold it and not have to worry about, like, Scald Burns or stuff of that nature. But then you also just couldn't get contact effects. Broken.
Are you all ready to see a Shadow Ball again?
Yeah, I mean, I think
What's the switch at now?
Weavile might kill from here with Ice Shard, so like, no, it doesn't, unless it's banded. I don't think it revealed banded though.
Does it have to be adamant? Would adamant ban shard kill?
Jolly ban shard would kill. But yeah, because he doesn't go to it, then it's probably not banded, which makes sense on a bulkier team like this. So now you can go into it, and it's safer.
Yep. Or there really is no or. I think you just have to go into Weavile. I mean, I guess Garchomp doesn't fall over. You get Earthquake. Like, do you really want Garchomp in?
It doesn't fall over, but you'd ideally want to be Swords Dancing if you go Garchomp.
Yeah.
But it could also be Spadef Rocks on this, unless it's Dual Hazard Pharaoh, because there's no other rocker.
Well, Pharaoh didn't click hazards or click rocks in that, 20 turns of handshake moment. So I assume it's not. I assume it's
a lot of consideration to just send Weavile out anyway.
Yeah. I mean, he could also just be planning what to do after this sequence, because like this is pretty straightforward. Like you can just get a knockoff. But after that, you really have to think where you want to go, because you don't want to miss position.
Maybe this is some god tier bait where it's like, okay, it was not god tier bait. I was like, maybe, you're clicking low kick here or something, but no. It was really just simple as go Weavile, click knockoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If the clef wasn't so healthy, I think low kick could have been clicked if it was there, but knockoff was just very free. Get some progress.
Now Melly is here. More uncomfortable questions. Are you toxic? Are you clicking toxic here? Double iron bashing. Garchomp seems logical, but okay, that was... Excuse me? That was your fake ghost resist. What are we doing?
That was... I guess hard calling out a double, but...
Oh, you don't even have a dragon resistance.
Giannis has a reason to double there.
Yeah, I think the thing was Giannis was just... He's quite far ahead right now, I would say, even with the Weavile around. So Damien was trying to go for either a choke or just get ahead with something else. Like, he could maybe have a long-term plan here, but I just don't see him beating Dragapult at this point anymore. Like, it's probably Spadef Chomp, so it can take like 1 or 2 Shadow Balls, but... Then what?
Giannis can just stack other things.
It's a Spadef
Nice
Chomp.
dragon resist, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Nice Slowking takes a Draco, at least. But
Slowking ate like 2 Shadow Balls earlier. That guy is like, I don't know how low he is, but he's definitely chipped.
It's coming in at 60.
Yeah.
Like, it lives a Shadow Ball still.
What percentage is Slowking at?
It's coming in at 60.
Okay.
And Shadow Ball did, I think, 55 earlier.
Okay.
But obviously, it can't do anything back if it switches in, so it's like not a safe position at all.
Oh my god, you're a traffic cone! No! Damien, no! Okay, well, Giannis is actually taking some time to consider this turn, so maybe we're missing something. Let's log it.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he was considering stay versus go D-Knight, because D-Knight would allow Zapdos to heal on a U-turn, which I guess is like slightly annoying, rather than just playing it safe, and now you get in Dragapult, and you get your kill. I guess you do have to Draco.
What if you
so,
just
Slowking can choose?
Well, okay,
but...
what do you think the D-Knight is? What do you think the set is?
DD, Wingbeat, Earthquake, surely.
Beat Earthquake, like Roost last? Okay.
Yeah. Like, it could be the Ice Punch one, I guess. And that's why I didn't want to come in on a Shifu. But I feel like if you bring the Ice Punch,
if it was Ice Punch,
in,
it would have come out now. Yeah. It would have come out last turn and Dragon Danced and won the game. But
yeah.
You have Dragapult, and Dragapult can drop a Draco with Reckless Abandon or Shadow Ball. But Shadow Ball wouldn't KO, and if this is like Scarf or something, then it's like, maybe awkward.
It revealed pads.
Oh, it's pads, right? Okay.
Yeah, it hit the Ferrothorn. Yeah, Shadow Ball is free unless it's some cheese stuff like no Aqua Jet Ice Punch, but yeah, you just get your kill here. I think, like I said, if it's Spadef Chomp, it technically can live too. So like it could come in here if it is, but no, it just goes for Jet to put it in.
Okay.
I
Here's
mean,
the thing.
technically, Rocks range.
Yeah, Chomp,
If the Chomp
get
is
rocks up, Dragapult down. So no more Dragapult to worry about.
You gotta keep him up because the Lando's still alive. But yeah, this also could be Healing Wish Clefable.
That would be
goodness,
insane.
imagine.
I would
I have-
lose it if this was
I have-
H-Wish.
Because hold on, the Ferrothorn is rocks, so the Clef isn't. And I on these D-Knight builds, usually like the Coco D-Knight Clef variants, it has ran Healing Wish before to bring back the D-Knight after it like tries to trade down, like maybe it'll get static by Zapdos but kill it if it's like Ice Punch, and then it'll just Healing Wish it back. So it's a
Oh,
possibility.
this is H-Wish Clef. This has been okay, never mind.
Okay,
Chomp
that is not Spadef Chomp.
Yep. Right. Well, Pult is down. Big threat down.
Yeah.
And
But at the cost of everything.
wait,
I mean, low key,
what?
this isn't the worst thing. Like, Clef had to come in there.
Why did you sack the shit? Why'd you sack the Pult, bro?
I mean, if it gets an SD off there, then it's like an actual threat, kind of.
Who
You have to
cares?
sack-
Go into Lando. Double the Clef. Bring Pult in after. Draco twice. Kill something. What?
Because,
What are we doing here?
well, Damien can outplay too. He can scale shot the Lando if it comes in. And then you're just losing something and then forced to Draco.
You can't
Which
scale
could
shot
put
and
you
SD
in
at
it.
the same time. That's why you go Clef afterwards.
Well, yeah, but if you're doubling between them, like, you can get called out. And then if Clef ever dies to the Earthquake, the Pult has to Draco the Chomp if it's at full still. And then if it Draco's kills Slowking, say, then it's at -4. You get an SD scale and the game ends. Because then Clef is dead.
I'm
So I think this is slightly
low-key
safer.
Very convinced that a -4 Specs Draco might still kill Chomp, considering how much that
No.
fireball did.
At -4, it's doing 50. 57, 67, which is still a lot, but it's not killing.
Oh my goodness. That's
Go
a
Chomp gets
bonkers turn.
Yeah. That was a good Earthquake. Calling out
That was
Roost.
true.
Wait, no, it was at full. That was just a fire play.
I just read the Chomp coming in. Neat.
Good U-turn, and then
And this Zapdos, did we see Hurricane from this guy? We did, right?
it has no Hurricane. It's Heat Wave, Tox, Volt.
Okay.
What are either of them gonna do to make progress here, though? Like, low key, does Damien win?
Eventually, Zap.
Damien-
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Damien does not win anymore. Actually, oh wow,
yeah, okay.
that could be something.
Yeah. I mean,
Because now if
free
you
Heat Wave
volt
here,
switch, if you volt switch on Clef here, and get in the Slowking, then this Lando is gonna die, and then Slowking Zap should beat Clef D-Knight. Like, this Lando hitting that Toxic was massive because then D-Knight just beats Zapdos because it has to switch in and then Toxic, and it'll be too weak to do that. But this might actually be possible now.
I mean, you could still Toxic. Does Heat Wave? No. Does Heat Wave KO this? I want to say no. 24.
I don't think it
so.
would.
With
But what
Toxic?
if he goes Slowking here on the Toxic?
Oh.
That
Would
would
you
be
just
fire.
U-turn with Lando then? Would you just
I think
U-turn?
the Lando's clicking U-turn here probably,
Okay, but then let's say you stay in with the Zapdos.
or he just goes hard Clef. Okay, maybe he would did kill. I don't know.
Not lefties? What is this?
Probably Helmet.
Yo, show me Trick Barb right now. I'm done with these games.
Knockoff.
Okay,
Oh wait,
never
that
mind.
Heat Wave burn is massive because that knockoff won't do a KO this.
That's yoke. Okay, I mean it's AV, but
Yeah, it would have
Yes.
taken 30 there though, and
Lando!
then Moonblast would have been free. Hard Lando. This is an interesting endgame.
but you didn't.
Because-
You switched out of this last time, so why would you? Wait, was
Well,
Fishing for the
he
full
switched.
para. Okay, yeah.
He switched out. Yeah,
thought-
he also switched out last time because it was at 25% toxic. Now it's not. It would have died to poison.
That's yeah, but I feel like it's a worth trade if you just hit the. Oh, but no, he was scared of the. I guess
the
Smoking coming
sloping
out.
pivot,
Yeah.
and then he would actually die. But here, if you mess up, you technically get a second chance at life. Like,
Okay, now I feel like Heat Wave does
s-
do it though. Did you toxic again?
Oh my goodness gracious.
wow, that is so bad. Yeah,
Yeah, Damien knows in chat types my bad.
Oh my.
yeah, and then
And
hits the heat wave.
takes it. Okay, well it's on Dragonite now.
Yeah, like Dragonite has to somehow set. It has to set up on this without getting status, and then somehow it has to have Ice Punch and beat Zapdos 1v1. But I don't see that happening.
What was the Zapdos moves? It's just Volt Switch Heat Wave, right?
And it's toxic.
It's toxic. Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Was-
Like if it was just Volt Switch
removal list?
Wave, it would beat.
Is this removalist from Damien the Genius?
Yeah, he's probably just relying on the opponent to defog because he has Terrathorn spikes. But
Or he has no boots mons either. Pharaoh no boots, Glowking no boots,
Weavile
Tifu no
has
boots,
Weavile Zap.
Comp no boots. Okay, but that's a Weavile, and you have like 4 other grounded mons with no boots and no removal.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Big wow. Yeah, Damien has been incredibly lucky in this endgame. It made it more interesting, but then he kept getting lucky. So then it became less interesting because he has
A little
just gotten
wild,
to the
bro.
point where this is almost unlosable. I mean, maybe he'll get some justice and miss Toxic's back. No.
Oh,
Saving Grace's Ice Punch freeze now.
Heal Bell Dragonite comes in clutch right now.
DD Heal Bell.
Bruce.
Earthquake
Wow,
Ice
I don't
Punch.
even know.
That would win.
DD Heal Bell Earthquake Ice Punch. Don't worry about it.
No, I think it needs Roost. DD Heal Bell.
No, if you're DD,
Roost.
Heal Bell, Roost, and then any move
Dual
that
Wing
can hit
Beat.
Zapdos, you win. You win the game. That is, yeah. Unless this
Yeah,
Glow
I
King is
mean-
also Ice Beam. Which
You
in
just-
that case, I mean...
You just spam
just have
Dragonites.
it.
It's fine. There's
Ice
Ice
Punch?
Punch.
Ice Punch! Oh my...
It was a freeze? That does a lot, though.
Why wouldn't you Diddy again? He didn't know you were Ice Punch? Come on!
I don't know. I guess he
But
was
no, Ice Punch
fearing
was definitely
Volt
safe there, because
Switch.
if you Volt, then you're in, like, a horrible position. Yeah. And Ice Punch doesn't even
Yeah.
KO the next time around. Yeah, that
No,
makes
it's
sense.
okay. We click Heal Bell now.
I think you Earthquake here. Trust me.
I don't know if...
It's
You
the
can afford
sauce
to
play.
Roost once
Trust me.
more for free. Because even if Dragonite DDs again, it's not going to take you out with Ice Punch on the subsequent turn. You can Roost for free here. You get a Volt Switch off. You can pitch Glow King. And at that point, I think the game is Jover. Because Toxic does too much.
Well, no, because if you Roost again on an Ice Punch, you'll be in range of the next one.
Huh?
Because it's doing
I don't
net
think so,
20, right? It's doing net 20. So to put the zap at 60.
20,
Yeah. So it does theoretically have to be careful here.
60. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
Like, I don't think it has to be too careful.
Maybe this
But it has
is
to be careful.
50-50.
There are a lot more options here.
On the Roost or the Volt?
On the Volt. Oh, wait, so Ice Punch will kill, right? This, if it has Earthquake, this is a 50-50. Are you Ice Punching the Zapdos, or are you
Bro, it's
Earthquaking the
gotta
Smogon?
be EQ. There's no way you're running like... I guess you could
If
be
Giannis
Fire
wins
Punch, you
this,
could be
this
Ice
would
Punch,
be an
Fire Punch,
incredible
like,
comeback.
full Wing Beat. No, but then you're like Pex. Like, you can't be Pex. Like, you have to be Earthquake.
Stay in. He's clicking Ice Punch.
Oh,
and there it
Oh
is.
my goodness
There it is.
gracious.
I lost.
Woo! What a game. What a... okay. I see you, my boy, but that is, yeah, a little too late.
Can full Paras do it?
Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Hold on. No.
No, it does too much.
No,
Too
it does.
much.
It does a little.
Feels
bit
bad.
too
Click,
much.
click rest
Feels
here.
bad.
Click heal bell.
Click your red.
Click something, please. 5-move Dragonite.
We can move
Remember
into
the-
Weirdmon versus how
A
long.
dirty GG afterwards. It's not a dirty GG, but like that was a very wow. It was a crazy
Yeah.
game.
All right, this
Hey, it's
will
the-
be
it's
a
definitely
this will be a
on
fast
Go
one.
faster.
This is gonna be very fast.
Oh,
Holy
is that?
moly.
Oh my!
Cephalon lives that, which is kind of crazy.
KCR1 talking crazy in the chat. We don't stand with that. Come on, bro. Shadow Ball picking up a KO.
Heatran's
Okay.
already dead.
Yeah, I mean Weavile coming out. Weavile doing Weavile things. Yeah, Helom said, I'm here about my power. Specs Bolt? Who needs that? I have. Specs Blaze. Dang. I understand that kind of, but also that would have been kind of nice to blow up Mew and stuff. Or like Chomp. That would have been kind of nice to blow up Chomp. Stuff is in. No fairy resist, which is nice, but also, like, I mean, Blaziken is basically a fairy resist if this isn't, like, T-Wave. What do you think the odds are this is T-Wave, Clef?
That
Doesn't seem likely.
looked like big damage. No.
Oh,
And
wow.
that what? Oh my god!
Oh!
That's so disappointing.
Oh, wow.
Gotta
that feels
gotta have the Zapdos Hurricane miss every fucking game.
At the
Pardon my
same
French.
time, you have a Kartana and you have a Ferrothorn. What are you doing? Risking that Zapdos.
I mean, Zapdos isn't the most important piece here. Like, if you kill the Rilla, then you just threaten something else right after with a Volt Switch or a Toxic, probably. Which,
Alright.
like, that would be a good
let
position.
me pose you this. Let's say as Garchomp gets like a Sword Stance up in front of like Pharaoh. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yo, 52? What kind of clef are we working with here? That thing is made of paper.
It's Helmet? Okay, well, I mean, this is just like Adamant Blaze, I guess. Or, yeah. Okay, this is Jover. Weirdmon has obliterated somehow. Chomp, eat the close combat.
Surely.
Scale
I mean-
Shot, I suppose?
Yep.
And then
It dies
what,
to
Weavile?
Weavile, though. But
Weavile
wait,
comes
doesn't
in.
Card
Weavile
just
lets
win?
Cart.
Cart
Cart just
probably
wins.
just
No, I-
wins.
No, Cart at +1 is not taking out Chomp, and I have to imagine Chomp blows it up. Well, no,
It
no,
would
it definitely
it would
doesn't.
have to have Fire Fang.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't.
That does not spike up, which I
Goodbye.
feel like it could have. It does have Fire Fang.
It
Oh
does
my
have
goodness.
fire.
Oh, Speed That Gaming.
Okay, well, Chomp comes in.
Speed
Scale
That
Shot.
Gaming.
What are we
I think
doing?
winner of the tie wins the game. It's just
Go
whoever gets the scale
Hello.
shot off.
Go Hello.
Biased casters.
I like Hello. This guy
I'm more
financed my
more
entire
quietly
OST
rooting for
Oh
Hello.
my.
Alright.
Oh.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay.
Yo, are we dodging?
There's
Are
still
we
a
dodging
chance.
Fire Fang?
Fire
here?
Fang could
Are we
miss, or
dodging
we
Fire
could see a
Fang
Leaf
here?
Blade crit.
5%.
Both of those could happen. Leaf Blade crit, Fire Fang miss.
Those
you
are
know.
odds. There are numbers
Those
associated.
are odds.
with
They're pretty.
those.
They're decent odds. You know.
Numbers
that's a high crit
associated
move.
with this crazy. All right, let's see it.
Real ones click Scale Shot and then Earthquake for no reason. Okay, well that I don't really understand why that was clicked. But
I mean,
are you?
Oh,
wow. Wait. I mean, it
I mean, it didn't matter because
he
Rough
would have
Skin,
died
but
to
like, I mean,
Rough
that's
Skin. I'm so
Oh.
surprised.
Is Leaf Blade
that Lived
contact?
so comfortable.
Or was
Leaf
this
Blade
This
is
is why
contact.
you wanted a Zapdos. This right here is why you wanted that Zapdos still.
How nice of a So versus Damien to start right as this ends too, so we never get delayed.
yeah, here we
Nice.
go.
Oh, this will be
Volcarona
First
Zero Aura
First
Gaming.
Aura in the day.
Ooh, look at the
Jeez,
Galarian
Zapdos is what I'm-
Zapdos.
Yeah, more looking at. That guy is clicking Brave Bird 6 times.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, well, it definitely cannot do that. Into a Garchomp and Heatran, definitely not. Do a Zero Aura too?
Just CC those one time. Brave Bird the rest of them. Simply outplay. Yeah, Damien's team is
This T-Spikes?
very
T-Spikes
offensive.
would be very, very strong here. Show me
T-Spikes
T-Spikes.
win the game here. GG.
Yep.
Well played.
Well, I assume like at least 3 of these guys are boots. I assume that the Pult is boots. I assume the Volk is boots.
I think the
Zeraora
Pult
is
might be that
boots.
Sash thing again. But the Zera and Volk are probably boots.
You have to be.
Nice. Stash Pult, bro.
Yeah, it could be the
T-Wave
second
again
Sash
if you're
Pult
real.
was
T-Wave again if
Patch
you're real
double
here.
status. Yeah.
yeah.
Or Wisp. Wisp would also be kind of brazy.
If you expect
Okay,
a switch, it's a Wisp.
I lost.
Yeah.
X take 43. Okay. Lando comes out.
Now you
We
win.
have to assume X again.
No,
Yep.
okay.
A2. No damage. How are we going to see that Wisp here? That would be pretty big. That would be
That
pretty
set is
big.
actually, because it paired the Pex there, that set is actually really good here. If it is Sash double status.
Honestly, the Pex can just come out again.
No.
Like, I kind of...
This mon cannot hit moves. It
Dude,
missed all of the times it used it last time we watched it.
I mean, that was a huge burn. That would have been a huge burn.
Yeah.
Now Pex
because
can just come out for free, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you just win this 1v1, because...
it's almost getting to it KO'd back, so it probably has to switch again. So it might be able to fire off another Wisp, but the issue is
Actually,
it has to Wisp instead of being able to hex the Lando coming in.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay in here. Because it's like, there are odds the Pex just can't touch this Pulse anyway. Like, what are we going to... Like, it's
Probably
T-Spikes,
knock
it's like,
for like
recover.
40.
Surely if
Knock.
it's knock, it already clicks, right?
Well,
Well,
it's
I
just
guess
last
maybe
time
it
'cause you
did
didn't
on
wanna
the
get-
power
It
turn.
tried
You could,
to,
you could
but it got
try.
parried.
You could try here. Yeah, this is a good turn for knock if you have it.
No, just
Scald.
Scald.
Okay, well that doesn't do anything. But
No.
there is no but, no burn. Rewarded.
No.
Haha.
I mean, it
Okay,
broke
click
your
Will-O-Wisp
poten-
here.
It broke a potential
Click.
Sash, but then Weavile had to get burned to
Click
kill it.
Wisp. Damien. Damn it.
You lost.
I did. Damien. Ah, come on. I feel bad. I misled you, brother. And Hex for...
So is doing
23%.
really well on all of these predictions.
Okay, but now the Lando is burnt again, and it's like,
All right.
what's that?
Now, it should die to Weavile Ice Shard just after a U-turn here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
another
sure.
earthquake.
EQ's not taking it
Shows
out.
it.
Okay, so here's what we did. We traded Pult for a T-Spike, Rocks, and Lando, and a paralyzed Pex, but the Pex is also basically at full. So, yeah, I mean, not good trade, but it is what it
Here's
is.
a little Draco. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever, because Lando stood in the way of Zera Aura a lot harder than Garchomp does. Garchomp is quite easy to chip. Because like if Zera comes in
Yeah,
now,
I don't
and
think
just
the
fires off
Garchomp
a
is
knockoff.
boots. So, wait, you're talking about ASOS? Yeah.
Yeah, the double ground versus Zera Aura. Like Lando was a lot bigger of an obstacle for Zera than Garchomp is, because Garchomp can just get knocked and then like it's close to win range of +1 CC.
Oh, I mean, this is still so tough. Though that T-Spike is a...
Yeah.
It's like you don't feel good switching in Rilla or Chomp ever. Not that you want to bring them in here, but just like ever. It feels kind of bad bringing those boys in. You
Yeah,
kind of even don't want to...
I mean, neither of them were too great in this matchup because of Weavile and Gzap.
I mean,
I feel
now
like-
that... Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I would have gone Zero Aura here and tried to like bluff CC and then knock off the Garchomp, because I think Zero Aura is definitely the win con here. But getting up rocks here with Heatran is fine as well. Like, it's not a bad
Yeah,
play.
this is another issue. Gapdos can kind of close combat for free, but if this is Protect, I mean, you do just trade for Chomp. Does that open up anything? I don't know.
Not really. Like, I guess it opens up
own
Rillaboom a
shot.
bit, but you have to get through Weavile too, because Weavile will do a lot with Ice Shard.
I mean, if this isn't... Well, I mean, you could still just go chomp and trade for the Zapdos. That I mean, they'll double down if
Yeah,
the Zapdos wants
I think
to take
that's
the
what
KO.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. Just get rid of Chop. It's not amazing here.
And if Zapdos
Unless
goes
this
down,
is-
I mean, Rillaboom is opened up
A bit,
a
yeah.
little
There's
bit.
still a Melmetal and Weavile to contend
Melee
with,
you
though.
can
And
get through with, like, I don't know,
it has to be
Drain Punch,
superpower,
Super Crit.
and
Superpower
I think it
Yeah.
has to be Life Orb superpower.
Are you
Oh my
kidding me? It
goodness,
doesn't even
holy
double
shit.
down with the gap. That's banded? Are you kidding me?
Wow,
Bruh.
I just
Yeah.
died.
Okay, well, Zeraora comes out now because this is banded as banded as
I mean,
heck.
you can
You're getting
also-
knocked off.
You can Volcarona here because Volcarona forces damage, a lot of damage on Garchomp actually. Like I guess
If you go
don't
Volker,
love
you just
taking the
CC to
QD.
2 KO that thing, and then if it
Yeah.
KOs you
Well,
back,
it still
you
gets
go
the
into
QD
Chomp.
off. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
but the chip on Chomp, I mean, is what's important because that opens up Zeraora. Oh, it's
Oh, it's
not
not-
Boots.
oh.
Okay, this is very bad.
Well,
then.
that changes
I thought it,
things. Now
I thought it kind of had to be Boots on this because this team just gets farmed by hazards.
yeah, you have no removal, you have no taunts, you have what has now shown to be 4 guys on the ground susceptible to hazards. Like, well, everyone's like susceptible to rocks, but talking like spikes, T-spikes, that type of nonsense. Like, obviously, you just like pitch the Zapdos here. I mean, there's no real reason to keep. You could keep this, I guess, if you wanted to, but I mean, Chomp just feels like a more worthwhile guy to keep HP on, I think.
Yeah. Hard.
Yeah, all
Dex.
right.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it
this
lives.
is kind of the guy you want to super insulate versus Volcarona. If you let this guy go, then it's like Volk is suspect.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
is he
think-
gonna though?
I think low key you go back to Zapdos, stack it, go Garchomp, and then come back to Peck because like this
Okay.
Pex is kind of expendable.
The only thing with that is, I agree with the Zapdos part. Like, I think you just should have just sacked that to begin with. But then if you go into Chomp and go back to Pex, the Chomp baits in like Rillaboom, and I don't really think Rillaboom is who you want in front of Pex because then you can like Swords Dance and
I'm just thinking it baits
Nonsense cannons,
knockoff
dude.
instead because Damien at this point has to go for the Volcarona lead, I think.
why is Melly the answer? What?
That took so little though.
I
Yeah,
don't care if
I
it does
mean,
little. It's chip for Rillaboom. Are you what? Am I missing something? How much does Weavile Ice Shard do? Does it do like 80% to Rillaboom or something? Like,
I mean, it's still not in range of +2 Drain Punch.
if it
Which
gets,
is
like,
funny.
knocked off here.
If
close
it
dot
switches
added?
out. If it switches out. But
Okay.
and if it's superpower, then a Weavile Ice Shard will do like 50 to 60 to a max bulk Rillaboom, which I don't think it would be on this team. I think it would be a bit faster, maybe Life Orb.
Yeah. I mean, I could. Maybe it's Boots Rilla. I don't know.
Definitely not. If the Zera isn't Boots, the Rilla is not Boots.
Bootsrilla would be a whack choice.
Boots Rilla, click ST, Swords Dance, Drain Punch. And it could just be Lefty's Life Orb, yeah. Maybe it's just Banded Rilla. Maybe it's not even set up. Maybe we're just worried for nothing.
OC turn gets the.
On the
my
EQ,
body.
on the double Iron Bash.
I go.
You get burnt?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
okay. Wait,
Zapdos
the
here, right?
the Melmetal no longer beats Rillaboom? Okay. Wait, hold on just a minute here.
It dies, but then you get
Zapdos?
chomped in.
Chomper. There's
Yeah.
Earthquake, I guess. Then
Yeah, because then you force a bit of chip and poison on Rillaboom. Or a kill.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably toss the trend at this point. Right?
Don't you want it for
Um,
Weavile?
I
think
I don't think so.
Weavile's not the biggest threat. Like, I think you just play aggressively and always try to wrench
Yeah,
it
but
with
at the
Zeraora.
same time, if
Because, like,
you
what else do you
let
got? If you toss Zera, you'll lose to Weavile Still, because Heatran's chip.
No, I'm not even thinking about Zera anymore. I'm looking at Volcarona now. Because it's like, let's say you trade a hit on Rillaboom for your Garchomp, like a Woodhammer or a +2 Grassy Glide or something, like something like that. Does Volcarona have odds to just do it?
Volcarona
Pex
has been the win con the whole time. It's just this Garchomp should never get chipped. Like, I don't think it ever
Okay,
gets
so
given
like
up.
what now? So do you just go like hard melee on this SD?
Probably. I mean, because Melm's burned, Volcarona might be able to set up in terrain, unless it's toxic. Which, if it is
But the
toxic,
Rillaboom can just set up
Cool.
another Swords Dance if it's Drain Punch. Like, it doesn't even have to respect the Melmetal clicking an attack since burn.
yeah, that is true. I think the only issue with that is if you SD twice and then Pex gets sacked on a Drain Punch, you'll run out of terrain turns. And then Weavile has to come
Then
in,
what happens? Then Weavile
really
comes
gets
in and
forced
that's
out.
free setup for Volk. Right?
It's free setup for Volk if you triple axle into the Heatran, but if they SD on the switch, the game is over.
Well, no, you
So
just
it's
gotta
kinda-
just stay in with Rillaboom. You just pitch the Rillaboom, you let Weavile click whatever it wants, and then you just switch in with Volk after.
I don't think from that position Volk can both take a knockoff from Weavile and beat Garchomp. I think Volk needs a free setup turn. Like here. That was a great double.
It's worth
again,
mentioning
if-
that all
if it's
this
toxic,
time.
cooked. Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that all this time it was also who was the one trying to figure out their play. Damien had clicked, not instantly.
Yeah, I mean,
but
this is pretty
Wow.
Oh my
Wrap it up,
goodness.
boys.
Yeah.
It's Toxic Pex time. All right, Pex, you gotta be Haze. You gotta never get paralyzed.
Probably
Yup.
probably knockoff. Oh wait, no, it's not knockoff, but it could be toxic also, like toxic T spikes. But even then, like if it's Haze,
Well, that doesn't
It
beat this
just-
Volk. This Volk is gonna.
if it's Haze, I don't even know if it wins because it's paralyzed. It might just run out if this is
No,
psychic.
that's what I'm saying. You have to never get paralyzed, and then Haze and Scald is win this 1v1 some.
Low
Just
key,
like a
does
buzz,
this
this is
does this
a-
kill Garchomp? Like if it's psychic, it doesn't, and then the Garchomp can SD scale shot. Yeah,
Okay, 60% is psychic.
psychic
Fire
never
move?
does
Yeah.
never does 60 at +1.
So you scale again here, right? That's the only.
You can. I think
Because if you
might
quiver dance,
be. You might be able to Swords Dance here.
well, no,
like,
you
I
can't do
guess
that.
on
Because if you
second-
quiver
on second-
dance, right, that's +2 psychic.
Yeah.
Is that kill?
I'm expecting, after terrain and leftovers,
72. It did 52% last time.
it's
you
a
would get to
roll
+2.
after terrain and leftovers, not
Okay,
in
so
Volk's
yeah, you
favor.
have scale shot is insulating.
Oh, it
Then do
only
you
lands
just-
the
It
3.
just blows it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I
but
would've-
what's the psychic
Now you can
anyway?
just earthquake and this should be a wrap.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was saying to SD because I thought Heatran would get sacked there because G-Train was about to end, so I thought you just sack Heatran, go back to Rilla to set it up again, and then try and position Volk because Melm has to come in on Rilla because nothing else will kill it. But because that happened, I mean, this should just be one. Like I think Weavile cleans this up.
Okay. Rill on the EQ is nice. So you just. Whoa. Wait a
It's not
wait.
Damien, all
I
the
think
way.
you can-
Wait a minute.
You
Wait
can
a
just go
minute.
back to Garchomp, right? And then if it dies, go Weavile.
No,
Oh.
I don't.
Oh, that would have broken sub. Okay, that's
Okay.
why. I didn't think it would break sub while burned.
Yeah, I
But-
was thinking that too. I guess if you sub there, you actually can't set up and get the sub at the same time. Because if
Yeah.
one doesn't break, two surely does, and then you just get blown up through sub.
Yeah.
And now Weavile comes in, I shard, go into Heatran. Sure. It is superfluous at this point. It is
Yeah, I think
You
you
just
just
do wrap
sack. I think you just sack Pex here, and then, or you can even sack this, and then go Garchomp, and then Rough Skin will kill.
yeah.
Yeah, choose to sack packs. Both work. But yeah, with either helmet or rough skin.
Yeah.
Also should have this one.
Omper.
Yeah, because Rilla cannot come in on EQ here, so yeah. And then it'll die to Life Orb plus rough skin. Plus poison, plus this thing is on life support. It is over.
Plus L, plus ratio, yeah.
Yeah. That was all
That
played.
was Life Orb.
We're in finals.
Yeah, that was
now?
an interesting game.
So yeah,
Very
the finals will be
Finals now.
Damien the Genius versus SO.
No, ASO versus
No, that just happened.
Oh, Weirdmon, yeah.
ASO versus Weirdmon, yeah. Right. Finals gaming.
Cool stuff from Damien. Unfortunately, he ran into T-Spikes and folded.
That was like
almost
the worst
immediately.
T-Spikes matchup I've ever seen.
A fairy, are you the one editing the
I'm not, no. Vertigo is hosting.
Vertigo messed it up? No.
Did he bold the wrong person?
Yes.
Vertigo. No.
The players know what happened.
To be fair to Vertigo, Vertigo was not slated to host this tour until like 30 minutes before the tour was scheduled to start. So
Yeah,
huge
Yeah.
appreciation to Vertigo. Absolutely one of the greatest, that are actively doing it. Stepping in super last minute to host a store generation that historically is a bit exhausting to host.
Shoutouts Vert. There you go.
Shoutouts Vert came back to the game recently. Not really, but is alive.
That's good.
Yeah, confirmed. You know, he disappeared during the SEL and was like just unheard of since SEL, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready for
I'm
finals.
I'm looking for two hard stall teams right here.
I
don't know about you guys.
Get out of here.
No.
I
To
would-
be clear,
Me
I would
personally,
absolutely
I've been enjoying a lot of the
love a
Blacephalon
stall
gaming that
here.
we've had. I would
to be
like to see
clear,
some more
FC
Blacephalon
is saying this because every time FC has said what they want, they get jinxed, and it doesn't happen.
Okay, all right.
No, I would
Other
like to
funny
watch a
mons
stall
would be
game. I
good.
love stall games and I'm one of the biggest
FC
stallers
wants-
out there.
FC wants the finals games to go for another 2 hours.
The classiest are 1 win away from winning SPL, and the Tigers
my.
are 1 win away from tying and forcing a
Oh, is
tiebreaker.
it 6-5?
It is 6-5. Dice just
interesting.
defeated Sergio Aguero in a pretty good black and white game, actually.
Yeah, the
should
final game
watch
is Behe versus Don Eduardo, and if
Yeah.
you want the tiebreaker, you're rooting for Carapinga, folks.
Oh, that's a fire final game to have.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a better, I mean, maybe if you're a GSC shooter and you don't like Gen, but you know, it doesn't get more name recognition than BE versus Carapinga. I don't think in GSC.
Maybe
Carapinga has really
Conflict.
opened
That's
my
like the
eyes
only other
to
version.
being like
Yeah, conflict.
how epic GST could be. That tier is very fire.
ASO Espresso Johning. I think we know who we're rooting for.
True.
Alright, chat, what are some mons you want to see in this finals?
I want to see.
We've seen a lot of Blaze lately. I would like to see some more Blaze.
I want to see some more Blaze. I want to see my man Buzzwole.
Yeah,
I was
Buzzwole, but
disappointed.
with like Quagsire, Clefable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Oh my
disappointed
god.
at how little. I was disappointed how little Galarian Zapdos we got in this semifinal game. I'd love to see more of it.
Galarian Zapdos is a cool mon. It just farms Lando.
Go play RU. That guy is S tier.
This guy with his RU again.
RU is the greatest tier on this site. You think OU is good? Play RU. It's better.
Unfortunately,
this is why.
I don't know if I think OU's good.
This is why Tetsuki is here. They joined a 3.5-hour stream just for the one RU plug at finals.
So true. I was out here hosting a PU live tour yesterday for 5 hours though. So it's like I do it all, man. Shout out to PU. That was a very successful tournament. It was like a $1,200 money pot or something.
That's cool stuff.
That finals was pretty cool too. We had Hikozakur. Man, what is his name? It's just he's just Hiko on forums, but I don't remember what his like in-game name is.
Hikozaru GG.
Yeah. So we had him versus I think it was Solwind in the finals. That was pretty epic.
We
Look at
yawning
Goldmason
like
being
crazy.
specific.
For
An
this
hour and
finals.
23
Yeah.
instead of saying an hour and a half.
Yeah, just in
That's
time
pretty
rescue
accurate.
end. I'm rooting for SPL to end before this S Tour personally.
That would be very funny.
All right. We need to kill Aso. Weirdmon, I'm rooting for you. Let it be known.
It was very funny to me that in the finals of an S-Tour, Weirdmon's message in chat for try to find their op was just op challenge me. Not even like going to double check who their opponent is or anything like that. Just typing in chat. Whoever you are, just challenge me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's aura energy.
100%.
Have Aso or Weirdmon made deep runs yet in some of the other tiers?
Weirdmon did real well in Masters 1, I believe.
All right.
ASO hasn't done in any tier that I've closely followed, or any tour that I've closely followed or watched or hosted. I haven't seen it.
What about like S tours? Have they ever like made a semis, made a finals before? Just like this season of S tours.
Well, this season we've only had so much, but
Yeah.
not yet.
Oh, there it is.
Here we go.
Okay, well they're both very fast.
Did
teams.
Weirdmon load
That's-
the
it's
same team that he loaded before?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So I went to take a look. Weirdmon has won a SM tour back in 2023.
Oh wow! All right. Well, let's see if he can put another tour under his belt. He's playing Sand with offense, which is like probably bad, but it could be good.
We've definitely
Mew could
seen
just,
this
like,
Weirdmon
get a couple
team
DDs.
before. Is this a duplicate?
Yeah, this is the same team he's using before, I think.
Incredible.
I mean, Chomp is scary. Blaziken, always scary. Mew, because I think this is like DD Mew or something. It's like
Yeah.
That's what it was last time.
that'll be scary.
I just don't think it has enough coverage options to kill everything, but it has enough to do some damage. I think the
I
main
mean,
threat
close
is
combat,
Blaziken.
Sci-Fangs, triple axle, gets the job done.
Yeah. I think Blaziken's the scariest because Lele will turn off Urshifu's Aqua Jet, and it might just Oko Zapdos if it gets a +2. And they can protect to outspeed Exudrill.
Yeah. That drill
Yeah.
is pretty scary, though.
I mean, I feel like Drill isn't the scariest thing because of Rillaboom. I feel like just all of the defensive pieces between Pharaoh, T-Tar, Zapdos combined to be the scariest for this offense team because some things will just thud into Zapdos.
Folks, where are the statics?
Yeah, another no static on Zapdos.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna see a
Maybe-
triple axle into no
Maybe there
static.
was just a recent PR that accidentally turned off the pressure notifications, and all of these Zapdoses have been pressured silently.
What are we clicking here? Is this a triple axle moment? Is this a sword stance moment? Knockoff moment?
Double to Mew.
Probably knockoff.
Urshifu should be coming out.
Yeah, I think Ferrothorn's coming out. I think that's a somewhat more reasonable swap. Considering Pharaoh's like not actually super great into a lot of this team.
I guess, but the move Spikes is very great into this team.
I mean, you can get that up right now in front of the Weavile. I mean, there's not really a better Mon that you are gonna get him up versus.
Well, the thing is, if it SDs here, and you get him Spike, you just die.
Okay.
Where it's like, yeah, Urshifu was fairly free because that takes like 2, and now he gets to throw off a move, which
Yes.
the
Surging
Urshifu I
Strikes
do
is
not
quite
see
strong here.
on Urshifu switching here. I don't know about you guys.
Surging Strike, Close Combat, both of which are very good.
Rillaboom is like a fake Urshifu switching.
Well, pads are off actually, so if it's Surging Strikes into Chomp, it's taking 36.
Taking damage, yeah. I think you.
If it's Surging Strikes. The Close
I
Combat.
think you CC pretty freely here. I mean, you can U-turn as well, just to reposition. I think CC does a lot of work.
Yeah. U comes in on the CC, thuds into that. That does like a lot though.
Well, if this,
Yeah.
I mean, if this is offensive Mew, it's not going to have much defensive investment.
Yeah,
I mean, you are
we
faster.
saw it last time. It was DD
You
side
respect the Mew and like hit it, or do you switch out?
Surely,
I don't know.
Surely you take a fraction of time to calc that and realize this Mew doesn't have a ton of defensive investment.
Yeah, I think it depends a lot on if these are plus speed versus plus attack natures, because then you could U-turn
Wow.
like on that safer.
Is
Does
this
G-turn
Smooth Rock
go-
Tar?
I don't know, but the drill can't kill this.
Well, it
I don't
can
know.
if it's Smooth Rock. You can just. Well, wait, no, because Mew just close combats you, right? Wait, what?
I don't think it revealed its
Just
last
kidding.
Oh my
move.
goodness.
It's like banded or something. Yeah,
68 is absurd. That might be banded.
Yeah. it's like banded or something. I guess it could be like, I don't know, maybe it's like Scarf, Adamant, Sand Force, boosted Iron Head. Like maybe I feel like banded.
Nah,
is
because
more
the Mew would have
likely.
outsped it then, but yeah.
Oh, that has
No, it was
to be
under Sand.
banded.
Right? It
Holy,
would be.
that is-
Oh wait,
that
no,
is
yeah, it was
so
plus 1
banded.
speed. Yeah. Yeah.
That did
Banded as heck.
73
Scale shot.
to a Garchomp.
Chomping Tantrum. Helmet? Not helmet. Okay, so
Imagine
Chomp
had
will
that been
survive.
helmet.
But then this is easy Urshifu range. So pretty cool. And then it's just left to. Okay, but the Pharaoh's down, which means what? Weavile becomes a little more free? Or
Nah, because Urshifu is still fine, and I assume this would be Scarf Lele. Yeah, it comes out now.
okay,
which makes the
Lele
most sense.
comes in. But I mean,
It's
this
just the
doesn't
Moonrust.
because Heatran comes in, and that leaves you open to some weird doubles. Unless you double here into like Urshifu, which would be a baller play.
I think you can afford to just break the Heatran's balloon, and then go hard Urshifu. Because like even if Rillaboom comes in, what is it doing to Zapdos, right?
I suppose this is fair. Balloon blast for nothing. Fine. The important
Thanks
part
for
is
popping
breaking that
balloon.
balloon. No more ground immune.
Yeah. So if Rilla
Urshifu
takes
comes in
any
on-
chip,
Oh
Whiff.
my
Yes.
goodness.
wow, that was a good play.
The disrespect.
Because you can stay in and rocks up if you really want to. Because this will not
That
kill
is-
you.
Yeah.
You could also just wisp
yeah.
again.
If you
There's
expect
no
U-turn,
shot this Urshifu
you
is
can.
switching. Right? There's no shot
You-
he's swapping.
You could expect U-turn on Rillaboom, but I feel like if anything, it would just click close combat first. Just get a
I feel
little
like
bit more
that's
chip.
a rocks moment. If you want to expect a U-turn, okay,
Wow.
you don't. Yeah.
That was not what I expected.
I mean, this is pretty good. This makes Zapdos a pretty easy swap here. That means you know, I mean, you can also just, well, if this is U-turn, you can't go Heatran. But if it's not, I mean, you can just
So
Right,
banded,
that's banded.
That feels
No para.
banded.
still no para. Like, and by the damage, that looks like
What?
gold Zapdos. So it's probably
47.
slower. Which,
If you're slower, this is horrible. 'Cause that
Yeah.
means you lose a mod. But
yeah, you lose something, which does suck because you had 2 chances to static this, and then it would be essentially just like threat neutralized. But because you've missed both,
well, I don't know if I'd say threat neutralized. Banded Grassy Glide is still big damage, but it's taking away turns. Okay,
Yeah,
static for the one
faster
time. For the
would
one
hammer?
time,
still no static.
Hey.
Wow.
Static
because
free.
the T-Tar is slower now. You can't go T-Tar. You could go
Yeah.
Lele.
This
But
Rilla
Lele lets in
looks.
Tran.
This Rilla looks like it will just win here.
Yeah, I mean his grass resists are both down, so yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, Glide
This
Glide
weird mon is
picks
big fan.
every time it comes in, like without fail, and he's up a sack.
Yup.
So I think you literally just
Okay,
throw
but
out a
Shifu
mon,
the
go
heat
hard
turn,
Rilla.
that like doesn't even matter, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
you can just like ignore this. Honestly, if you just want to get up rocks,
Just get up rock.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe call it the
Because
game.
then Rilla comes in for free and something dies. Because I think Lele would not be able to switch in.
I mean, you
Mhm.
don't actually. You don't even have to glide. You can just wood hammer here because it's like, what are you doing to me? Earned U-turn. I don't care.
I
Earned
assume
close
it's just
combat?
TC.
I also don't care.
Yeah,
Okay, grassy
so
glide.
Glide
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, that's why I think rocks would have been a bit better because Lele can't take rocks plus out of terrain glide, so it could never be like a
Yeah.
one-time pivot there. Which, if he did one-time pivot it there, then there was maybe some signs of life. But now
you can go
definitely not.
Tran.
Yeah, let's
Tran
go
on
back
what?
to-
Focus blast here, and then are you in the game? Because you're not lefties. Moonblast.
I don't think you're in the game because I think if you lock Focus Blast, Blaziken wins with just SD
It
protect
doesn't even kill. Wow.
and then gets the full. Yeah,
How much is Blaziken taking from Lele? Focus blast.
40.
Oh, it's definitely way more than 40.
more than that, but it's not enough to where
This is what, Scarf, you think?
Scarf what?
Wait.
Lele?
Like, do we know it's Scarf?
Probably by the damage. I think Specs would have killed that feature.
Yeah.
Also,
Because
one
I
of those
think
things
it's-
where
I think
you
it's
look at that
fast
team and it's like, oh my
Scarf
goodness
that- yeah, and
gracious.
honestly, I mean, you have to be Scarf to have a chance. Like,
Yeah.
versus
Finally gets rocks
Blaziken.
up. Yeah. So
And
I
that kind
think
of
you-
doesn't. That's
think
way
you
too little
really
too
do.
late. You just go Blaziken, you click Protect if you have it, or just close combat.
Yeah, I think it showed Protect last time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But I think you just Rilla for safety in case it's like Brazilian T-Tar and clicks Q-Wave, and then you get hacks on your place again. Don't get
I mean, you
T-Wave.
could Tech again, or close
Don't
combat. I
get
mean,
T-Wave.
again, both of these moves are fine.
Yeah, this game should be over, but
In close
Yeah.
combat, yeah.
good CC.
Wrap it
I
up.
mean,
Wrap it
The drill
up.
play was smart, like just in case they clicked Protect. Like you
Well, I
get,
mean, then you just yeah,
get a chance.
yeah.
but then if you're the
Still there.
Blaziken, you protect.
Oh,
and
it's
you
not
go Blaziken
protect.
on your Q.
not
Oh,
not protect.
if
No
it's not
labeling,
protect, then
sack,
yeah,
sack,
CC was good.
grassy glad. Yeah. You up on the sacks. You up on the sacks.
Yep.
Imagine if they weren't though. But yeah,
Yeah,
shout outs Weirdmon.
Yeah.
Who has in a tournament who apparently was, filled to the gills with stall. Big
Yeah,
offense.
shows up with Mew, Blaziken, Weavile,
it was protect.
takes the W.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Scarf Lele, so I don't even think a crit will kill Rillaboom if it manages to miraculously focus band its way through. But yeah,
I was gonna
Well
say,
played
what
to
if it's
Weirdmon.
focus bland, clicks side terrain, turns off grassy glide, crit psychic, bam, win.
damn, easy.
Well, congratulations to Weirdmon for winning today's Smogon Tour.
Yeah, that's Weirdmon. You can add another tour win to that SM win you got in 2023.
Yeah. Thanks, folks, everyone, for turning out. Thank you, FC, Ming, and Goldmason. There will be SPL games uploaded on the YouTube, regardless of whether or not the finals go to a tiebreaker. So keep an eye on the YouTube for obviously previous SPL games that are being commentated and streamed, but also the finals themselves. Keep an eye on the Twitch channels for future weeks of Smogon Tour, as well as World Cup coming up. We're going to have both of those tournaments represented in some way on our Twitch and YouTube. But for today, we're done. So thank you for all coming out. Thank you for watching, for playing in the Smogon Tour, for commentating if you were here. Have a good night, folks.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later.
Yep, thanks.
Peace.